Cause like I was like, oh shit, ain't nobody trying to hear about 60 frames no lag. Cause you know why? Cause I'm gonna be honest, it's rare that you see Colt in the middle of the drama.
I know,
like it's rare.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like in a safe space.
Like it's like you don't fight. Like stop it.
Yeah, he don't debate. He don't. Yeah, he's not built for that. He's not built for that.
So I'm like, wait a minute, Colt, and then you got the Xbox fanboys. I'm like, wait a minute, Colt. That's why it was weird. I'm like, wait a minute, Colt's all up in the mix. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that Beast of Truth and that Gears. Yeah, I was like, all right, they about to speak. I'm out.
I was like, oh shit. And then I saw Strictly, and I'm like, wait a minute, Strictly, Colt, Beast of Truth. Guys, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This is like it's like a weird mix. I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, oh, man.
That Beast of Truth dude, he about to turn that whole spaces about him. He gonna talk about himself. What?
Well, yeah, once he starts talking, I'm like, oh, okay.
When he started talking, bro, that's when everybody scattered because it's like, oh my, here we go. We got to hear another biography about this dude.
We ain't trying to hear that. Yeah, and then I just left right now because I don't know, Strictly remove themselves or they bumped them out. But it's just all Xbox dudes, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to hear a circle jerk. Like, nah, fuck out of here. Like, listen, if y'all need me to listen as a therapist, y'all gotta pay me. Y'all gotta pay me to listen to y'all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because this is about to be a therapy session right now. Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy, bro. This is wild. Let me see if BG is up in here. But yo, this crazy, man. So let me start out. We'll do a little chit chat talking while BG jumps on. But anyway, hey, I just want to say welcome my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. Welcome back to 60 Frames No Lag Podcast. Man, truly appreciate you guys rocking. Hopefully we'll have a good podcast for you guys to enjoy. Hit the like button, retweet this out, and we'll go up through. Yo, Jay Breezy, what's good, man? What you been up to, partner?
Yo, what is good, guys? Man, P-Rod, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm just chilling, man. Came back from a nice little vacation. You know what I mean? My birthday was last week, so it was cool, hanging out with the fam and everybody.
Happy belated birthday. July baby, right?
July, man, you know the vibes, man.
July babies are the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Leos, we the king of the jungle, man. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what's up, man. But happy belated birthday. I'm glad you enjoyed with your time and friends and family, bro. It's been a minute since we have done a podcast. I kind of missed you. Pause. You know what I'm saying? But I miss my boy, though. I miss my boy up in here.
Yeah, because I've been doing a lot, little traveling here and there, and friends been visiting. And yo, they come on the day you do a podcast.
Hey, so I was like, yo, listen, man. I ain't mad. I am not mad, man. Do live your best life. I see you got your type, and you out there doing your thing. Get your booty calls. Hey, bro. Hey, I cannot hate.
You're not gonna let me live.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you let me speak. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna let you do you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't let me slow you down. Live your best life, brother.
But
live your best life.
At the end of the day, it's always a pleasure being on here, man. You know the vibes, how we get down. So it's gonna be a fun show.
Yo, and I'm so glad you showed up because I know you be playing COD. So I know there's some invested interest, and I know you got some thoughts in this. So I can't wait to hear it. That's why I invited BG, because BG's always been with PlayStation needs more multiplayer. So I know he has some points, so hopefully he could jump through and stuff. We'll see how that go. But you're right, he's Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? But I can't hate because Puerto Ricans, we late too, so we always fast to be late. That's how you say
8:30, that mean 9.
Yeah. I do that to my wife. Yo, so let me tell you something. I do that to my wife because my wife is like... So, I could tell my wife, hey, we got to be at a location at 2. She's going to start getting ready at 1. I'm like, yo, you're not doing your hair, your nails, and all this stuff in 15 minutes. So now and she hates it. But now, let's say if we have to be, let's say at a movie theater, right? And let's say the movie starts at 4. And she'd be like, yo, what time the movie starts? Oh, that shit starts at 3. We got to be out of here by 2:30. Like clockwork, she's starting to get ready at 2. Like as I predicted. And I'm pretending I'm stressing. Because my normal, she's like, I'm rushing. And then when we get there, she looks at me like, yo, like, I'm not doing this. I gotta subtract an hour. Any place we gotta be, I'm subtracting an hour. I'm subtracting an hour, bro. Like, if we gotta be somewhere at 5, yo, babe, we gotta be there like a 3:50. Like we got, we're not doing that. But anyway,
I do that a lot. I do that a lot. Like I gotta be there at 5, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get ready at 3, 4-ish, to be ready. And then time passes, I kind of forget, and I end up going late anyways.
Oh shit! Liquid Data with the super chat. He said one word: SOCOM. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit! Hey, we're gonna talk about that because I got some questions and stuff. All right, but anyway, call me Jay. What's up, Havoc? So you up in here too? Oh,
what's up, man?
We're gonna get some good comments, aren't we? We're gonna get some good. This is this topic. We're gonna get into it, but let me go through. So we got Call Me Jay. What's up? What you been up to, my brother?
Yeah, just been playing games, bro, and just waiting because I'm gonna go fly out to.
Whoa! We don't play games. You mean watch games? Because that's a true game.
Actually, true. Yeah. So I got 2 monitors, right? I got 2 monitors. I got YouTube on my left watching a game, and I got Twitch in the middle watching a stream. So I'm like double dipping,
Hardcore.
I'm a gamer.
That's hardcore.
And my TV's on.
That's hardcore.
I'm a gamer, dude.
Gamer. Do you have a podcast on your phone too while doing all that?
Yep. The Spaces was on the phone, bro. Like, I'm everywhere, bro.
And you're on the Spaces? Yo, you leap, bro. That's leap status.
No, but just I've been playing COD because I was playing with Jay Bari in Persona Saturday and days after that, and just been chilling, man, just killing time because I'm gonna fly out see the girlfriend in a couple days, so that's pretty much it.
Oh, you're gonna fly out for some booty. Ooh. You gonna fly out? You putting a Jay Bari now, yo, Jay Bari. He trying to be up on your level. He traveling for that booty.
I'm topping Bari, bro. No, but
as he should, man. Yeah, as he should. But Call Me Jay, that's my guy, man. We've been on COD Sunday for a minute, so that's my dude.
I think there's gonna be some good PlayStation versus Xbox anxiety. There's gonna be some drama this winter. Once COD comes out, Modern Warfare 2, everybody's gonna be talking shit. So Bari, I think I'm gonna have to dust off the cobwebs and hop on back on COD. I think I'm gonna have to get back in the game, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, Modern Warfare 2 is gonna be a clean slate for a lot of people. Hopefully they change the game because I despise Modern Warfare. Call Me Jay, already know this, but
yeah. So I think
hopefully they can change the game up a little bit.
Yep. So I think I'm coming through again because I could sense a lot of shit talking. and I'm just gonna be like, so pull up then. We got crossplay. Pull up on the sticks.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say that. I'm not.
Yeah, dust off those controllers.
That's it. I don't want to hear it. I'm gonna be like, hey, you talking mad shit? Pull up. I got my crew, Bari. We gonna get the crew, and that's it. We're just gonna put hashtag pull up. That's it.
Just let me know, man. We in there.
We're not playing. That's it. We're gonna find out. Find out.
COD Sundays is a vibe, man. COD Sundays is a vibe.
That's it. Oh shit, we doing this. That's
just chilling.
That's it, bro. We're gonna be like, oh, with the acquisitions, great. Oh yeah, hey, pull up. Nah, I don't really play Call of Duty. It's not a game pass.
Xbox dudes ain't talking mad greasy out here.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. At first, this is at first it was let me see a gamer tag. Now it's gonna be like pull up on Call of Duty. We're gonna see who answers. We're gonna put them to the test.
Literally.
But thanks for coming through, Messiah Craig, the first responder.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Right, no problem. Yeah.
Oh, brother, how you been? What you been doing, man? You been playing Mass Effect?
Actually, yeah, I finished Mass Effect 2 yesterday, and I'll start Mass Effect 3 probably.
And what is that?
Wednesday.
And how many times is that already?
On PC, I think this is my second playthrough on PC. Yeah, second playthrough on PC.
Oh, but how many? Yeah. Oh man, this guy, bro. Like.
Yeah, I thought it was your first. I was gonna ask you, but it's been multiple times already.
This guy,
no.
I think he's trying to have
that
sex.
That is amazing.
I think he's trying to have.
Yeah,
I think he's going through. You know what? I think you're going through every romance storyline over. I think.
No, I've done that. I did the whole. I did that run. It's called the Captain Kirk run. So yeah, I romanced Ashley, Miranda, and then hopped over to Liara in the third game.
He was the first,
I did it though.
He was the first one to do it. You were the first one to get the Captain Kirk trophy.
Yeah, he coined it.
Yeah. He's probably the only one that got the Steam trophy, the Xbox trophy, and the PlayStation trophy. He got all three.
Yeah.
Captain Kirk.
I put him on Origins though. Yeah, I did play a little bit of it on Game Pass though. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, brother.
I canceled it though at Origins.
Thank you for coming through. All right, and then we got Havoc.
What's up?
What is going on? What you been up to?
Just been playing, just doing my shit, man. I've been hearing these Xbox dudes, man, just talking crazy lately. You know, I don't understand it.
I don't know, man.
So I'm just playing my games, do my thing.
That's it, right? Do your thing, right?
Pretty much.
This Call of Duty brought out some weirdo shit. Like, it's like now all of a sudden, we're gonna talk about it once it comes through, man. This been some crazy shit. BG said, "All right, be right there." So he's probably setting up. And anyway, so to the chat, we got a great show. BG's about to hop on. We got a great cast up in here. Project Cloud, I think he's gonna hop in a few. All right, but y'all seen the streets. Y'all seen what's going on. So while we're about to get up into this,
I've been at work.
You haven't? All right. So when we start the topic, I'm gonna help out Craig, get him spun in on what's going on.
I need to go first because I have to drop first. I'm going to work. First responding tomorrow. Training.
Awesome. He's doing his thing. So all right. So this is what we'll do. All right. So to the chat, hit the like button. Right. We got 97 viewers. I understand the space is probably going crazy, but if you want real information, if you want the facts. And we got the crew, we got the people. We're gonna talk about this whole thing, right? So, Craig, this is what I'm gonna start off with, right? I'm gonna start off reading an article. So, Microsoft, what you gonna call it? It says Microsoft. I'm gonna read this article. Now, this is an article about what Phil Spencer said about the Activision-Blizzard deal, and he said this to New Zealand Commerce Commission, which is one of the many commissions throughout the world that's looking into. This acquisition merger. So it's not just the FTC, it's the European Union, New Zealand, South Korea. So this is expansive to the whole globe. Now, I can't tell you what the rules. Like, for example, what if New Zealand says, we don't approve of this? Does this mean the deal's off?
They have to. They all have to approve of it, or else it doesn't go through.
That's what I imagine.
That's the way it works.
So I don't know about that. So I would assume that it has to be a unanimous vote across all regulatory countries. I'm thinking if one country says no, does Japan have an influence in this?
If one country says no, it does not go through.
So I don't know. So that's gonna be interesting, right? So anyway, so this is why Microsoft. It says right here in the article from Engadget. Microsoft has taken an interesting approach to secure regulatory approval for its acquisition of Activision-Blizzard. In a recent filing spotted by Rock Paper Shotgun, the company told New Zealand's Commerce Commission the troubled publisher produces no must-have games. Yes, you read that right. And here's a quote. There is nothing unique about the video games developed and published by Activision Blizzard that is a must-have for rival PC and console video game distributors that give rise to a foreclosure concern, the company says in the document. Put another way, Microsoft believes owning the rights to the best-selling Activision Blizzard franchises like Call of Duty won't prevent rivals like Sony from competing against it. So that's probably the mainstay. Now Sony, there's another article. Now I don't know if this is proven, but it says Sony speaks to Brazilian regulators about Microsoft's $68 billion Activision buyout. It says worldwide regulators are asking competitors like Sony for comments on Activision Blizzard buyout and how it would affect competitors' position in the market. Sony had a few choice words to say about Activision's most popular franchise. Call of Duty is a top shooter series of all time. It's a powerhouse franchise that helps Microsoft and Sony generate combined billions every year, even with the 30% split. We already calculated that Sony and Microsoft will lose hundreds of millions if Call of Duty is kept off PlayStation platforms, should Microsoft's $68 billion Activision Blizzard deal close. But Sony has delivered official comments reiterating how important Call of Duty is for gaming. In an official response to Brazil's Administrative Council for Economic Defense, CADE, as found on this webpage and machine translated for this article, Sony legal representation said that Call of Duty is unrivaled in the games industry. Representation indicates that Call of Duty exclusivity could be a paradigm shift for the games market. And in quote, no other developer can devote the same level of resources and expertise to game development. Even if they could, Call of Duty is heavily entrenched so that no rival, no matter how relevant, can overtake it. Call of Duty has been the top-selling game for nearly every year over the past decade, and for its genre, it's overwhelmingly the best-selling game. It's synonymous with first-person shooters and essentially defines that category. Right?
Wow.
Yes. All right. So, you got a game of two people looking at the same situation, right? And they're giving two completely different perspectives. Obviously, they're saying the perspective that is beneficial to them. So, right? So we're
both sides sound like that's what they're doing. Yeah.
So the first down the panel, we're gonna talk about just each company's perspective. I'll start with Craig, and then later I'm gonna talk about the community's reaction to these perspectives. But just from Craig starting off, Microsoft reactions, Sony's reactions, right? And in relation to the FTC, how do you feel about it? What do you think is gonna happen? Is there anything Sony can say that actually gonna stop the deal from going through? Like, what's going on? What's your thoughts on this?
No, there's nothing they can say. I mean, again, they're asking. Sounds like they were asking, or the regulators were asking them, how would this affect you all? Would this give them an uncompetitive advantage? And what Sony is trying to put out there is, well, maybe it would. But both sides, it sounds like the spoke to these regulators said exactly what I would have said. I mean, if I'm Phil Spencer, I'm like, hey, this is not a big deal. You know, these aren't must-have games. Blah blah blah. Even
though you're dropping $68 billion.
Yeah, I would have said the same thing, and I would have said the exact same thing. It's business, and if I'm it's business. This is the way billion-dollar companies do. They're trying to get stuff passed, so it's like, yeah, this is not that big a deal. And then Sony's like, well, this could give them an uncompetitive advantage. So we don't like this. You can voice your opposition, but it's gonna go through. Okay. They can't. I mean, if they're gonna sit up there and have the guy come back who had all those allegations against him, again, they were allegations. I don't know if anything was proven. They had that guy come back, So and it's just it's a mess. But this is the way. It really reminds me of when Sony was renegotiating their share contract with Spider-Man with Marvel, and everybody was getting all up in arms over it. This is like, no, this is the way billion-dollar entities negotiate. So, and from my understanding, Microsoft, and I could be wrong, let me make this clear. I don't give a rat's ass about this game. Calling in the B2 and getting one-man army is bullshit. I know real soldiers, they can't stand this game. But with that said, I mean, because I've talked to them, I've treated them, whatever. Okay, that's besides the point. So I don't have a dog in this fight. The last Call of Duty that they did, the Black Ops 3 or whatever it was called, I enjoyed that for what it was. And I like the other one, Modern Warfare, where they were clearing the house, clean house. I could play that mission 1,000 times. I had that much fun. But as far as what they're saying to each other, which is the question, this is exactly what I would say. If I'm Phil Spencer or whoever, I say, hey, you just have to downplay it. You have to downplay this because you can't show your cards. This may give you a competitive advantage. And if you're Sony, your attorneys have told you need to upplay it. This may give them a competitive advantage. As far as the FTC is concerned, Microsoft, my understanding, has already testified that this game will be multi-plat. So again, I don't know what's going on with it because I've been at work and I just don't understand why people would get this upset. Why are they getting, if they're as upset as people are claiming that they are? I think it's just probably a few select people. You got to remember, the Xbox community has absolutely nothing to talk about.
All right, we'll get to that point right now.
But anyway, that's the next phase. As far as them talking to regulators, I would have said the same thing.
All right, okay. So we got BG up in here. You know what I'm saying? Like all Caribbean people, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, we show up fashionably late. That's just how we do. Nah, what up, BG? What's going on, my brother? Uh-oh.
What up, y'all? Okay. How y'all doing, man?
Hey, thank you for coming through. I especially wanted you here because I know if there's anybody in this community that was always been a big advocate of PlayStation and just doing a better job of multiplayer, is being you. Even sometimes by yourself. You made the argument.
Fighting the good fight,
man. By yourself. I remember you made a comment, and I actually was like, holy shit, he's right. You were like, PlayStation provided more multiplayer games when they gave it away for free than they are now that they're making us pay for it. And I was like, he ain't wrong, though. I'm like, yo, now that we paying for online, we getting less shit than we did when we were free. But anyway, thank you so much. Normally, I will have the gas, so I did Craig, but I would like your point. So I think you already caught up. You know Microsoft's comment, right? They're downplaying no must-have games.
Yep.
And you see the alleged Sony comments like, hey, this could shift the balance. We're just going to talk about just the company perspective and what you think. And if you think this Sony has any chance of stopping this merger, do you see anything there? What's your perspective on just the company side, just the actual information? We're going to get over to the fanboy side because we got to talk about that because there's some crazy shit. And that's like, even though it's the same topic, That's a whole new paradigm because it's wild. But what you think about that, brother?
So I think both of them, right, are literally just playing into it, right? Mm-hmm. Microsoft is literally acting like Call of Duty is nothing special. It's just another game. And technically it is, like there's nothing like super unique about the gameplay of Call of Duty. What's unique about Call of Duty is just how much money it generates. That's the only thing really unique about it. And, Microsoft, along with all the other IPs they acquired, they're literally just acting like it's no big deal, right? That they have to downplay it, right? For the FTC and the regulators and all that stuff. You can't just acquire Bethesda and then Activision, like one of the biggest deals ever, and so they still want to acquire more studios, yeah. maybe even more publishers. So they're trying to downplay this, right? Yeah. And Sony, on the other hand, I think Sony is absolutely concerned because, they make a lot of money from Call of Duty. It's the most popular game on all platforms besides like the Switch, right? So it makes everybody a lot of money and it brings a lot of people to the console. Do I believe the narrative that they are in Sony headquarters, like panicking and like sweating under their desk and like, having panic attacks? No, I think they're playing into it too and trying to make it seem that, this is something that is a detriment to not only them, but to like the gaming industry in general. Mm-hmm. So I think they're just playing into it the same way, Microsoft is playing into it on the other side of it.
Yeah. It's just crazy now when we first mentioned the Activision deal, when Microsoft first mentioned it, everybody was talking about the big move, the game changer, right? And now today, what? What are you talking about? Anybody could do this shit. Like what happened? Like, it's crazy, right? This how it changed. But thank you for comment. Jay Barry, I know you a COD player. So what you think So what you think about this whole from the company perspective, from the information out there? What do you think about how these two companies are reacting to the same situation? And do you see anything where Sony could possibly in any way prevent this merger from happening?
First and foremost, P-Rock, I want to let BG know. I don't know why he's late. Don't let it happen again. Very disrespectful. Second and foremost.
I was on time, but I went to do stuff, and y'all weren't here. So I don't know, man.
No, that's not our fault. The spaces. Oh, hold on. Am I muted? Oh, no, yeah, the spaces. I was like, you gotta forgive me, right?
I'm thinking, it's being recorded, BG, so you good. Yeah, that's just pure comedy.
Yeah, because nobody was in the thing. I'm like, where's everybody? And like I didn't get a message from BG. Jay Barry's not there. I'm like, where the fuck's anybody? So I go to Twitter, and all I saw, I only saw two names. I saw Space, and I saw Colt and Strictly Speaker. Colt Eastwood. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? Like, that's a weird combination to see in the same space. I'm like, I know Strictly's on some. I know he's. I gotta listen to this shit. And just like I predicted, that shit was crazy. And I'm thinking, I don't think my podcast is gonna be able to start at 5:30. Like, everybody's in this motherfucker right here. I'm like, shit was crazy. So that's what happened, BG. Everything got kind of finagled. Jay Barry was up in there. I'm like, shit. This is crazy. So that's what. So sorry. We apologize.
Hey, I saw the same thing you saw. I had to listen, bro.
All right, but we're back.
I might need to listen to that later. They recorded that?
Yeah, I hope it is, man. I'm dying. You hear?
And who hosted? Strictly?
It was Beast. No, Strictly's in there. Strictly was in there. Beast or Truth was in there. I don't know who hosted it. I'm not familiar with the dude, but Cole was in. That's what surprised me. Yeah, what surprised me was Cole and Gaz was in there with J-Rock. Like, I normally didn't think he would actually, be part of that group that actually does console war or whatever, because he tries to be like, be nice. I'm above console war. Yeah, all right, motherfucker. But anyway.
Is that Beast the Truth dude? What was it? He used to call him prune juice or something like that?
That's what? I don't know. But when I saw that, and I saw Strictly as a speaker, and also Sumo was in there, I'm like, oh, shit, Colt trying to get dirty? He visiting us in the hood? Like, what's going on over here? I was like, it's crazy. But anyway, yeah, so, it's wild. Anyway, back on topic.
Yeah, to answer your question, like, the statements that PlayStation, I don't know why people are making I understand why people are making it a big deal, but it's the truth, man. Call of Duty is a big franchise, is a big game, and it generates a lot of money for PlayStation specifically. You know what I mean? PlayStation, they spend a lot to market the game, but they also earn a lot from the game. Just with this acquisition being announced, you already saw the market value drop like 20 billion, even though, you know, that stuff fluctuate all the time and all that stuff, and they kind of recover from that regardless. But still, it shows how big of an impact a game like that could be just from the announcement that, Microsoft is acquiring Activision. You know what I mean? So when this thing goes through, yes, it's gonna be like a tide changer as far as like, okay, Microsoft is going to be marketing this game again, which they did on 360, and we saw how beneficial that made the 360 with this game alone. You know, other games too, but this game was a huge game for the 360 and its success. And you know what I mean? PlayStation, they're more so worrying about like, okay, Microsoft is pushing Game Pass. Game Pass, you know, takes up you know what they say, like 60 to 80% of the service market share, and that's true because people are thinking about Game Pass only on Xbox. No, Game Pass is on PC too. There's no competing service on PlayStation on PC when it comes to that type of service. You know what I mean? So Game Pass is just by itself really over there with what, like EA, not EA, EA,
Origin or the
and Origin, and those are like
Ubisoft Plus,
UB Plus, and EA. What's the EA one?
Those are like
EA Premium or whatever.
Yeah, EA is merged with Game Pass, so it doesn't really count because they're merged. But Ubisoft Plus isn't. That's separate.
And barely anybody has that shit.
Yeah, exactly. They're barely making any, you know, headway when it comes to that. So yeah, when you look at it or what they're saying, they're thinking it from all perspectives. Like, it's console, PC. Yeah. This can be a huge detriment to them as a business. Yeah. I do think that PlayStation has some contingency plans there, but you would never, regardless of how good your game is going to be, like these partnerships that they have with Deviation Games, Firewalk, Haven. I mean, they just bought Haven, and these live service games. They can have a great game. You know, people will love it, but at the end of the day, people was always going to go back to COD because COD has built that rapport throughout the years of like, I got to get a Call of Duty game. New COD game is an event. I got to buy that. You know what I mean? So COD is always going to generate that money. And COD really and truly adjusts as well through the times as far as like, you know, a lot of people created these Call of Duty killers, but COD is still here. It's a relevant series that's been relevant for years. So it's going to be hard to like push away a game like that, regardless of how good whatever PlayStation has there. But I just feel like if PlayStation can have their own, you know, multiplayer game that is going to be as consistent, you know what I mean? Like Call of Duty, they can make headway as far as, you know, building that rapport with gamers. But, you know, we'll see. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is a big W for Microsoft if, you know, getting this, you know, that game on their portfolio. And yeah, PlayStation has to adjust. PlayStation has to, you know, be smart with the business moves that they're doing.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the comment.
I agree.
Yeah, great comment. Call me Jay. You got it. What's your perspective on this from what you got?
I don't got much to say because everybody else already said basically all the points. But I feel like the best that Sony can do is like, because from the statements that both companies made, to me it shows like Microsoft just try to be vague. I mean, they're both correct in what they're doing, obviously, right? Because Microsoft can be vague and say that it's not really unique. Other games exist on other consoles like Battlefield and Apex Legends and so on and so forth, but none of them are as successful as, freaking Call of Duty. So the best that Sony can do to like have a compromise in this business that's going to go through this merger or acquisition, I mean, is to show whoever they got to show all the data that points to Call of Duty being a huge juggernaut. And at least I know that Microsoft already stated that Call of Duty stay multi-plat at least for a few years with the contracts and such, but we don't know what's going to happen after that, right? So the best that they can do, in my opinion, is sort of like make the FTC and all that other stuff, all those other people twist Microsoft's hand to be like, these games that generate this amount of revenue or more, or are this big that were already multi-plat should stay multi-plat, and you can have the IP. That's about it.
Not to interrupt you, but one more. They actually told that even after the contract's up, that game will still be coming to PlayStation.
So here's my take. Here's how I see that. Right, to me, it depends on what Microsoft sees. If all these years pass, right, and those contracts end, and Microsoft still sees PlayStation being the dominant platform, even though maybe the Xbox will start getting exclusive stuff, or maybe they'll put Call of Duty on Game Pass or whatever, right, with some perks. If Sony still has a large market share, I could see them being like, just leave it there, because if just take that away, we're the ones losing, right? So, if not a lot of people are going to, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think like with maps and skins and stuff like that will all be on the Xbox first, kind of like I think when Jay Barr was saying when they were marketing on the 360, that if you had a PS3,
it's different now.
Yeah, they were on the 360. Microsoft had it. Microsoft got all the maps first. They got skins first. They got all that first. But again, I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, I agree 100% with what you're saying. I didn't mean to interrupt you, though. Keep going, brother.
No, you're good. I want to correct you on something, because I know you said you don't really play COD. Ever since 2019. Ever since Call of Duty 2019, they don't do map DLCs anymore. It all comes for everybody on every season, so everybody gets it. There's no exclusivity per se.
But that could change, Joe. That could it could change, right? Okay.
Here's why that will never change, because when they had map DLCs, that would sell, but not everybody bought the DLC map, so it already set the player base. How they do it now with a $10 battle pass and all these skins, right? They're making a lot more money than they did before, so there's no reason for them to go back to DLC. They can have exclusive skins or gun camos on the Xbox side through Game Pass to incentivize people to get that, right? They could take the esports part of Call of Duty and be like, since we own it, it's going to be Xbox only, so all those people that like to play and get really good to participate on these teams, they're going to buy an Xbox to play on Xbox.
No, that'll happen,
so on and so forth.
Yeah,
so on and so forth. That's about it. And another thing I wanted to say, to add to what Jay Barry talked about on Game Pass being on PC and such, Game Pass is also on phones because of xCloud. It's on that Samsung TV as well, so it's like it's on more platforms than what any other service is at right now.
Yeah,
so.
It's gonna come to all TVs. I mean, a friend of mine that he manages at a Best Buy, and he's like, nah, it's coming. It's just they have to negotiate. It's like anything, they have to negotiate how they want to implement it. But I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just I mean, my only thing is I had a thought, and now it's gone. I feel like Big Boy Caprice and Tracy. But no, I just do not understand why this is such a big deal. If it is a big deal at all, or is it just a group of people online?
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get there.
To do,
we're gonna get there.
To finish off, it is a big deal for Sony, because if Call of Duty gets removed from PlayStation, slowly but surely people will stop playing more on PlayStation and start buying more Xbox, because Call of Duty is like a magnet. It attracts people to whatever platform it is.
Is it crossplay? Is it a crossplay?
It is. Yeah, but if it's not on PlayStation, then crossplay will be Xbox and PC. That's it.
Well, right. Okay, but all right. Now, the only thing I will say about it, if it's crossplay, since Microsoft bitched and moaned to get crossplay, that will be a little egg in their face. But
that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't affect me at all. But I get what you're saying. I agree.
They need to convince the FTC and all the other groups of people that look how powerful this IP is, this specific one, and to make them force Microsoft to be like, after the contracts are done, if there is no other contract, still make the game to be on all platforms. Otherwise, this deal is not going through.
That's a good point. You do something because their word is not enough. Because you look at the change. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I got you. That does make sense. All right.
A super chat from Harry J. He says they should give COD to Nintendo. Problem solved. Oh my god. You'll have Mario and Peach run around with a squirt gun, bro. God forbid. Anyway, my boy Havoc.
Yeah. That was my turn.
Yeah, what's your 2 cents?
Splatoon, man. Don't sleep on that Splatoon. It's
pretty good. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Man. What's up, Havoc? What's your 2 cents?
All right, man. Like I was just talking about, they're going through different courts in each country in the world, correct?
Yeah.
So they're each one, they have their lawyers. They all have a part to play. Microsoft had to say they had to literally downplay it as much as they possibly can, despite the massive amount of revenue. You know, they had to pay for that for Activision-Blizzard. Like, as much as they paid for them, they had to somehow downplay it to make it seem like they don't have real titles. We just wanted to help this company because, you know, I think Craig mentioned the Bobby Kotick situation. Yeah. So they trying to divert, try to change the talk into, social problems as opposed to the games. Now, by extension, on the other side of the coin, Sony is really over here saying like, yo, like Call of Duty really does make that revenue. I'm looking at a graph right now, if you want me to show it. It's basically on the last 3 years, and it's all Call of Duty makes so much revenue, like 1 billion in like revenue every course of like all 3 years. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, they have to somehow show them that that's a lot of money that's going to be gone if they take away, not just Call of Duty, but Activision games and Blizzard games completely from PlayStation. So somehow they're going to have to really sell this, and I think that's what their lawyers are really telling them. Like, yo, we're going to have to really put, even if we can really sell it, push it even further. If you get what I mean.
Okay, good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
man.
They need to even push even further. Let them. They have to convince them definitely that these games definitely need to come over to PlayStation and stay multiplayer. Otherwise, they're gonna definitely lose a lot of revenue, right. and it could cause a massive paradigm shift.
Okay.
If you get what I mean.
All right. So you all hit it on the nail. All right. So let me do my 2 cents. But before I do my 2 cents, right? Hit the like button. Right. We got over 240 viewers. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoying the content. I hope you enjoying the comments from the guests. Please just hit the like button, or I'm gonna hit this ad button. I'm gonna drop this ad on y'all. And I specifically requested commercials like Metamucil, Preparation H, like old people shit. Right? You're gonna see old people shit as an advertisement, right? Now, anyway, so I want to say this. So, from my view, Microsoft and Sony are both looking out for their self-interest. We all covered that. Microsoft is trying to downplay it to ease as best they can all the trade commissions, because it sounds like I don't know, but Craig mentioned that all the trade commissions across the globe who are involved in this, they have to agree to this. And if one of them don't agree, it doesn't happen. I'm not sure about that. Craig says it does. I just never looked at it. I'm going to be honest. I know, like BG, right? I know, in your Weapon Wheel podcast, has anyone, because I know you talked about this, has anyone actually alluded that this is about to happen? That there's going to be a contention between Sony? Like, they're going to battle it out? Because I don't remember seeing on anything. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing I remember hearing is like, oh yeah, Michael's going to talk to FTC and these guys are going to review it, and that's it. Like, nothing came up like, no, Sony gets to contest.
That they're actively trying to fight it?
Yeah, I don't remember that was even brought up, like, that they're actually going to be an active fight.
No, they're not. They're not fighting it. They're like putting little things in like the court's ears. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like dropping a little like, yo, son, this really shouldn't happen. Like that's what they kind of doing in different words. Yo. It's not gonna work. And they know like that little, that little bit of doubt that they're putting in the court's ears is not strong enough, but they still want to put it out there.
Yo, Sony right now looking like that dude eating a banana in belly. He looking at Microsoft I don't like this shit at all. I'm not liking this shit at all.
I don't even think these comments are even recent comments. I think these are stuff that
we're catching up to.
They send it to all, yeah.
Yeah, like they said when they heard the acquisition, because I'm pretty sure Phil Spencer came out and said that they already had talks with PlayStation and all these games and all that stuff is going to be staying on PlayStation, and they're living up to all their prior contracts that they have with PlayStation. And PlayStation has like the next like 2 or 3 Call of Duty games as far as contracted. So even if this whole Xbox move and Game Pass stuff is going to happen, you're not even going to see that until like 3 years in the making anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
Facts. Those are facts. Shout out to Jay Barry. Facts.
So I would say this. Oh, what's up? What's up?
Yo, I got something in there for like a graph or something showing the revenue, even compared from Sony to Microsoft, as well as other platforms. How much the money that Activision-Blizzard makes on each platform over the course of the last 3 years.
I'm sure they make Tree Fitty, but Jay Barry is 100% correct. If this does happen, like Call Me Jay was saying, that's fine. Let's say that happens. It's not going to happen until, 2025, 26? I mean, come on. There'll be children conceived and walking by then. Come on. Okay. I mean, you just have to do something else, guys.
Yeah. Okay. By that time, Sony will see. Not Sony. Microsoft will see if Sony is as a juggernaut as it is right now, or if it'll drop, and they can be like, okay, we can take it off. But like Jay Barry said, all these things that we're seeing are probably old as shit that already happened. We're just kind of catching up to it, you know.
I agree.
So
I agree.
The best case, I feel like the best case scenario, considering what Jay Barry said, when those deals are over of Call of Duty being advertised on PlayStation, it'll still be there, and then Microsoft can try as hard as it can to incentivize people to move to Xbox to play Call of Duty there instead, even though it'll be on PlayStation. You know, give them perks, give them more Call of Duties on Game Pass, whatever the case may be. But
agreed. You know, that's what I would do. But or you were saying, like you were saying earlier, though, they also have the option if they wanted to brute force it. Yeah. So and just say we're only going to put this on Xbox and PC. We'll have it in the Epic.
Or like if you, I'm sure Jay Bar remembers this, or BG. But in 2019, there was a specific mode, Spec Ops Survival, that was only on PlayStation because of the marketing. Nobody else could play that shit for a whole year.
Modern Warfare
happened with Cold War. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they could do something like that. Be like, hey, this is going to be on the Xbox only for a year, and it's not multiplayer. But
the thing is too, I think Xbox should do that because, heck, you know what I mean, this is your game now. But Phil has been pretty, vocal about being against all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Where he doesn't want, certain things like content-wise being exclusive. He's been saying that for many years now. So I don't know how they're going to do it, to be honest with you.
Here's my thought process is like, how many can they convince to actually go to their platform, though? Even if they, how many can they lose? Just how many will drop off? If you get what I mean.
Okay. Here's the scenario, right? Call of Duty Forever will be on PlayStation, but exclusive skins that look cool, whatever, will be on Xbox only or through Game Pass. The MLG scene will be only on Xbox. Every advertisement will be on Xbox. There's a lot of casual people that, although they play Call of Duty, they see the green logo and they're like, "Oh, okay, I'll get an Xbox then, sure, whatever." Or people that don't have a lot of money, but they're still in the gaming scene, and they see Game Pass and they see Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4, World at War, which are backwards compatible, plus the older Xbox One, Xbox Series S Call of Duties on Game Pass for $15 a month, and they're like, okay, I don't gotta spend $40 per game. I can just do this and play with my friends.
Plus you get the upgrades, right? You
it's
think
quote unquote
go
cheap,
back in and upgrade them a little bit,
right? So there's a lot of benefits that they can add to their services that doesn't necessarily have to be like yank from PlayStation. Now nobody on PlayStation gets to play Call of Duty, only Xbox and PC people. It can still be there, but there's a lot of other incentives that they can change it to be Xbox exclusive, and people will see the more value on that if they're like a casual gamer or they only play COD, right? Because if you're only playing Call of Duty and you have a PlayStation 4, and let's say right now you see all the Call of Duties on Game Pass and all this other shit, you would move to Xbox just because you can pay $15 and play every single Call of Duty through backwards compatibility online with people. If you're only a Call of Duty player.
I want them, this is me personally, I want them to pull it off. I have a video up called No More B2 for You. You can just go search it. It's like a 30-minute video of me ripping people for playing this game. So I agree with everything that you just said, Jay, but I personally want them to pull this game off of the PlayStation. So just to see what happens.
You want war. You want fucking war.
Mm-hmm. No, I just want to see the funniness. I don't know if you got your thoughts off
yet, but...
Hey, so I'll say this. So this is so to hit Call Me Jay's point. I think just for the hardcore Call of Duty play that plays on PlayStation, when you think about it, if all you really do on PlayStation is play Call of Duty, you're spending $130 a year anyway. you're putting up $60 unless you know you're able to find a good deal on CD keys on PS Plus. But for the most part, you're paying $60 on the annual online subscription, and now you're gonna, if you have a PS5, you're paying $70. So you're already talking about $130 a year. An extra $50 gets you a whole library of games, and it just consists. You know you're gonna get the Call of Duty all the time, and you have access to every Call of Duty. So a lot of people is gonna switch on that, right? The real conversation, and I think people are missing, this is just Sony's perspective on the money, because that's what really Sony's concerned about, right? They're concerned about the amount of money Call of Duty brings in through the 30% royalties. And what they're afraid of is Microsoft doing, after the obligation for whatever deal Sony has in place that Microsoft has to honor. They're afraid that Microsoft, once that is done, Microsoft says, hey, this IP is too powerful. We know we're going to take your people. They know that if they put that game exclusive, a lot of people are going to leave on PlayStation because they've seen it already. It happened to them.
Yeah, that's true.
All Call of Duty got its start, not its start, but it really became popular when Modern Warfare came out, Call of Duty 4. And it was primarily 360. 360 got the lion's shares of the Call of Duty gamers. I remember back in the days during the PS3 era, and I remember BG, you probably remember. Remember when MPD used to release? It actually released game cells and actually separated. Like you didn't have this whole. And during that time, and I know BG remembers. I don't know if everybody else remembers those times when MPD released every month in the top selling games. It wasn't this combined dollar sale shit. It was literally number one Call of Duty. 500,000, 541,000 sales.
And
Number two,
they let you know which platform it sold most.
Yeah, it'll say Call of Duty, Xbox 360, 541,000. Call of Duty, PlayStation 3, 238,000. This game, it broke down the game. I remember when it released console data, it broke down the actual console sales. MPD used to be very specific on the data, and you had access to all this data. Then they realized they're probably, MPD, that's a whole different conversation. Long story short, now they went into this dollar shell. But Call of Duty was primarily sold on a 360. That's why 360 was like the shooter box. Because everybody primarily played Call of Duty on Xbox. Everybody primarily was playing Halo. All that shit was there. Battlefield Bad Company. If you thought of a shooter, you would be crazy not to play on Xbox. That's how it was. But I remember when the whole internet shut down for PlayStation, and it was, the great collapse of the server. I know a lot of Call of Duty players that were playing on PlayStation left PlayStation because they were not going to wait a month till Sony to figure this shit out. After like a week, they traded their PS3 in and they went to Xbox because Call of Duty was the game they're playing. And they couldn't even wait a week. Well, they would have ended up waiting a month, but that wasn't happening. They were done. They traded that shit in, got a 360, and that's it. They were stuck there. Then you fast forward to the PlayStation 4, people simply found out like, oh, wait a minute. The DLC deal went to PlayStation 4? So they get the DLC 30 days ahead? Oh, hell nah. I'm getting the PlayStation 4 because they can't simply wait 30 days for the DLC. So that game has a huge impact on the hardcore Call of Duty players, right? So I have no doubt that Microsoft realized and Sony realizes, they will take a significant amount of players. Now, do I think it's going to hurt PlayStation as in like the equivalent of when EA left Dreamcast or Sega? No, nowhere near that. Because as popular as Call of Duty is, on PlayStation, it sells anywhere between 10 to 15 million. Maybe at best 20 million. You know how everybody looks, Call of Duty only sold 20 million. I mean, God of War. God of War, Horizon Zero only sold 20 million. There's 100 million PlayStations. Right? But they don't do that with the multiplats. Because when you look at Call of Duty is around the same number as like Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War. It's not like you got 50 million people playing Call of Duty on PlayStation. It's not that high. But you could potentially see out of the 20 million, you could reasonably see at a minimum 10 just moving on because that's all they really do. They play Call of Duty and Madden. So you could see 10 million, maybe 15 million people gone. But the majority of PlayStation fans are still going to be there on PlayStation, right? Not everybody, every single PlayStation don't play Call of Duty. It's a mix of whether it's JRPGs, indies, and all that stuff. And that's where I think nothing's going to happen with FTC because there's no way for Sony to convey that this is dangerous. This is not dangerous for the industry. In fact, the majority of the industry doesn't really care. It doesn't impact them. This really only impacts Sony and their perceived, I ain't gonna say fear, but when there's potential of you losing money, you're gonna say something. someone's coming in and potentially take money out of your pocket, you're going to say something. You're just not going to sit there and be quiet. But yeah, Microsoft, yeah, let them have it. And so what if, they take out 30% away? No, they want, Sony wants that 30%. They want to stay with that 30%.
You know, funny P-Rod, like, let's say that PlayStation and Bungie acquisition, it got announced, but they didn't have that FAQ, blog or whatnot explaining how this acquisition is going to be, like how Microsoft got announced. Yeah. How the acquisition announcement was just like how Xbox and Activision was. Microsoft will be saying the same thing when it comes to Bungie. Like, yo, Destiny it generates a lot of money on our platform. Yeah. You know what I mean? This would be a detriment if they can put this in. They'd be saying the same thing.
Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Guap with the super chat, he says, if people are only playing COD, why has it been outsold in 2022 by Horizon Forbidden West, MLB, The Show, and GT7? So sure,
he misunderstood us.
It's true, yeah. So true, like
he misunderstood.
Yeah, people are not only playing COD. Sony is just concerned with that significant fan base that is part of COD. They don't want to lose that money. They don't want to lose that group. They don't want to lose the 30%. They want to keep. They want that 30% to stay on the PlayStation. They want those PlayStation gamers to stay on PlayStation, and they're concerned about that. Now, as far as like sales and stuff like that, so when Call of Duty comes out in October, that game is usually either number one. Most of the time, more often than not, it's the number one selling game with just 2 months into the year. So in 2022, you're gonna see Modern Warfare 2 be the number one selling game in 2022. The only game I've seen that beats Call of Duty that given year is Rockstar. When Rockstar releases their game, and that's mostly either Red Dead or Grand Theft Auto, that's the one that's number one. But in a non-Rockstar year, Call of Duty wins, at least, in NPDs or whatever. That game comes out in October, it blow past every single game that's been built up throughout the month, and Call of Duty usually takes the top spot with just 1 or 2 months in the year and stuff.
I want to say something real quick because he mentioned that he's using Vanguard, Call of Duty Vanguard as the recent title. Here's why it's not stupid. I don't want to say it's stupid, but like it's incorrect to use that game to compare, even though it's like the most recent Call of Duty. That game's absolutely trash, and not a lot of people bought it. Just seeing that it was a World War II game again, nobody bought that game as much as the other ones. And gameplay wise and map wise, it was not that good, and people were playing already Warzone, which is free, and Modern Warfare 2019. If you want to, you're comparing Vanguard, which is like their worst title recently, to really good games that came out this year. Like either wait till Modern Warfare 2 comes out or compare Modern Warfare 2019 to these titles, because it's like Puerto Rock said, whenever Call of Duty comes out and it's good and it's marketed well, it blows everything out of the water. It doesn't matter how good it is.
Yeah, even then, right? Yeah. You just start from 2007 and look at every year, and you can see more often than not, overall Call of Duty, is the number one selling game. Like you could just look up best selling game of 2007, according to MPD. Look at 2007, 2008, 2009. You're going to see more often than not, Call of Duty ends up being the best-selling game of the year. Yeah. The years that it's not, it's like your kind of scenario where one game is like Advanced Warfare. It's like it's an off year, or Rockstar released the game that year. And obviously, when Grand Theft Auto 4 comes out or Red Dead comes out, those are the top spots. But if you look at year over year, overall, the number one selling game more often than not has been Call of Duty for majority of the years.
Call of Duty, even though like people talk about the downcline, and it has had a downcline, you got to realize Call of Duty's downcline is still better than everybody's best.
Good point.
It's like when it's like when people were, for some reason, people like when Netflix has had like the loss of subscribers they had, and people were like celebrating, I guess because people hate Netflix now or whatever. Yeah. And like they were talking about like, oh, it's over for Netflix and how much subscribers they lost. With all the subscribers Netflix lost, it's still the biggest like platform, the biggest like, video streaming platform, and you could combine almost all the rest, and it still doesn't equal up to Netflix. And people were acting like Netflix was going to die because of it. I'm like, bro, it's still, that's how huge they are. Yeah. They lost all these subscribers. Like Call of Duty, there was a report lost like 50 million players, like year over year, a third of its fan base. And it was still like at like 100 million players. Like, like bro, you know, it's
like,
insane.
It's like his point. Like Netflix, right? Netflix is so big, or like Call of Duty is so big that when you see a report, oh man, you lost 20 million players. Sure, if you compare it to like a Battlefield or something else, that's a lot. But when you look at the players Call of Duty has, it's literally like negligible. It's like, all right, that's not really a big drop off. Like the company is so big that those big numbers sounds a lot for someone else, but it's not really a lot. Like Netflix, the subscribers lost, everybody gave Netflix doom and gloom. And I'm like, even when subtract all that, Netflix is still ahead over anybody, like by a huge margin. So good point. What are you gonna say, Craig? Let me do one super chat.
Real fast. I'm about to hop off. So shout out to you and the panel and the chat. Let me just say this. I know you're not there yet. I just want to put my 2 cents in. Here's what Sony can do. I wrote it down. Number one, they can do a business move called Death of 1,000 Cuts. So they bring back MAG, SOCOM. They bring back MAG, SOCOM. What else? Resistance, Killzone. They redo them, they make them, they update them, they bring them out, they give you VR support on all those games and say, look, our games have this. Okay. Number two, they can do nothing. Like Call Me Jay was saying, that just kind of see the way things go. Number three, they can go ahead and see if they can negotiate with Microsoft to put a version, and this is what I still think is going to happen, a version of Game Pass comes to PlayStation. I know everybody argues with me on that, but I'm the same person that sat here and told you 2.5 years ago Xbox is going to be an app on your damn TV. Guess what? Xbox is an app on your damn TV. Here's another one, and somebody actually emailed this to me. They could actually go ahead and make a play right now for Ubisoft. And that way they get the Ghost Recon and the Rainbow Six.
Ain't nobody give a shit about those
Well,
games.
wait a minute. I'm not done yet. And Rainbow Six, Rainbow Six has close to Siege. Again, I don't play the game. They said it has close to 26 to 30 million people playing. I don't know if that's true or not. But I'm just saying that they could mitigate, possibly mitigate it. If not, I still believe they don't do anything, because what can they do? Right, but that's just my opinion on it. Like I said, that's just my opinion.
This man want to play SOCOM with a PS Move again, bro.
Oh shit!
I'm just saying, if you brought those games back and you release them and you put them on PC as well, you give them VR support, with their new VR system.
But I think VR would be too small market to make, especially.
Well, again, but I'm just saying, you give them an option. You try to incentivize it. That's just something they could do.
Give who an option? Huh? Give who?
Yeah, just give them an option. I'm just saying now, if you buy and play these games, you have VR support. That's all.
Give who now? Oh, you talking about the gamers?
Yeah.
So I don't think this is even a conversation of gamers, because Sony can still do all that, right? They could bring back Resistance, they could bring back SOCOM, and let's say those games are hits. But they still want the Call of Duty money. Like they want it all. They don't want that 30% to go.
If they pull the game, but if they pull, I'm just saying, hey, look, they can do this and do. It's a business move. It's called Death by 1,000 Cuts. You just say, they have Call of Duty, but Call of Duty don't have no VR support.
But I don't see that. I'll be honest. Anybody sees that at Cuts?
This is something they could do.
I think that's more like that. To me, is like you're more like whistling. Now, so let me get the super chat. Let me get the super chat. So Leo Jimmy, he says, I think personally this was a move for next gen. I mean, Xbox ain't been doing nothing this gen. They're gonna make COD exclusive for the next Xbox, and by the time all that 2025, 26 games will just port to the new Xbox. So with all the deals, because like I think somebody brought up a great point. You're not gonna even the merger probably won't happen until 2023. With all exclusivity deals, you probably won't see actually anything happen until 2025. Maybe 2024, 2025, depending how Sony finagled this and how long, right? So we won't see anything. We won't see the fruits of the labor for like a good year or two. So who knows? This might be a longer game for Microsoft.
I just want to ask, like, how profitable is like Warzone and everything else on the PlayStation?
They're making money.
Warzone in general is their moneymaker. It makes more money. It made more money than Modern Warfare 2019, and even now, it made way more money than Cold War and Vanguard 2. So that's where the players are at, basically.
What's the odds of like if they? I heard they was making like a Warzone 2. Is like what's the odds of that?
So it is though, because their marketing is for 3 games, 2 main games, and Warzone 2. So it is coming. Yeah. So
if should be money still coming on the way.
So you brought up a good point with that, because if Warzone 2, they said that they built Warzone 2 with a forward approach, whereas Warzone 1 was supposed to be like Blackout, which was just a game for Modern Warfare, just like Blackout was for Black Ops 4. Modern Warfare, they're saying that they're building the game, future-proofing it, so that whenever they integrate with newer games, they can seamlessly do that without having problems, because Warzone for years has had problems when Cold War came out, and now with Vanguard as well. The new Call of Duties are going to be made with the same engine from Modern Warfare, but relatively change a few things so that they feel different. But since it's the same engine and mostly the same tech, they can import the weapons and models for those new games into Warzone 2. So this is like a clean slate. So considering that fact, that's what they want to do, they said, there's no reason why the next, let's say, and when the next Call of Duty comes out and the one after that, that's when, let's say, Microsoft could take away Call of Duty from PlayStation. They can't take Warzone 2 because it's already there. And since they're going to have integration, there's no reason for them to not release that Call of Duty that they could take away, because it'll still be integrated somewhat into Warzone 2.
True.
Right.
And something to add real quick to what Rock was saying about they can make all these games, but they still want the Call of Duty money. They can make all those games, and they will never ever reach or even touch the feat of what Call of Duty is. So those games, the best that they can do for those games is be secondary to Call of Duty, just like Battlefield is secondary to Call of Duty and all the other shooters. Mm-hmm. So they want the number one, but they also want to complement the PlayStation community with the other games if they actually wanted to do that.
And just to comment on that, because like Puerto Rock said, like I was fighting that fight last generation.
We're gonna talk about that, but go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna wait then. I'm gonna wait.
Okay,
I want to get ahead. About that
because you out there by yourself, everybody on top of you, and you're like, bro, I just want what I enjoyed on the PS3. Yo, BG was like, I was playing Mag, I was playing Resistance, Warhawk, shit, I was playing All-Star Royale. And now I ain't got shit.
Oh, shit.
We're going to talk about that.
Nintendo has been making more multiplayer games than PlayStation in the last 10 years, which is insane.
Yeah. So let me I'm going to ask two questions. I'm going to go down the line. We'll start with BG. So question number one, and I'm going to tell you both questions. Question number one is, do you think this deal is going to go through? And if you don't, why not? And then question number two, if Microsoft gets this opportunity to make Call of Duty exclusive, do you think they will? Go.
The deal definitely goes through. Okay. I see nothing, and I lean on the experts, the legal analysts, not the fake ones on Twitter, the real ones, the real ones who actually have like degrees and jobs and all this stuff. I listen to their videos and what they say.
No, hold on, YouTube. Hey, hold up, BG. I saw 1,000 hours on financing, so I'm a financial specialist. All right, I'm gonna let you know. That's my truth, all right? I'm speaking my truth, all right? Now go ahead,
I got
BG.
you, man. I got you.
Right, that's how it works, right? That's how it works, right?
No disrespect to the financial and legal experts on Twitter, the armchair ones, but I listen to the ones.
They're gonna attack us right now.
I listen to the ones who actually do it for a living and have actual degrees and all that stuff, and they say like it's a 75-80% chance that the deal goes through. They don't really see anything else, to really stop it from happening, right? So that's probably going to go through, and Sony doesn't really seems to be fighting it that hard, aside from making some some side comments and subliminal shots here and there. And what was the second part of the question?
So the second question is, let's say if Microsoft does own Call of Duty, at first opportunity when they can, pass, do you think they will? Do you think they will make it? If they could, legality, all the contracts is over. Sony no longer has marketing rights. It's over. It's done. It is 100% in their control. Do you think they will shoot their shot? Be like, nah, this shit ain't going on PlayStation no more. Do you think they will do it?
I think. See,
that's a hard one. Right?
So Phil Spencer, right? I think Phil Spencer is he's conflicted, because I think Phil Spencer, the businessman, knows what he should do, and he should remove it from PlayStation, keep it on Xbox and Microsoft platforms, right? But Phil Spencer, the good guy, which is I believe he's actually that good guy and that human and that gamer. I believe he actually does want everybody to play, and they want their games to be available everywhere for everybody. They don't want to take anything away. So I think I don't think it'll never happen, but I think after the contract ends, it's still on PlayStation.
Okay.
At least for that time.
Okay.
In the long run, hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe I don't know. Maybe because Warzone, you know, I don't really care about Call of Duty like that. You know, Bari's the fan, but Warzone is more important than the annual releases, right? As far as like how much money it generates, right? That's yes. How it goes. So I don't know. Maybe I don't even know if it makes sense to give you know, PlayStation the campaigns and you know, keep Warzone. I don't think that makes sense either. So if they're gonna take one thing, they might as well take all of it. So, but I think they keep it on PlayStation at least for the, you know, the immediate future as far as we can see.
Okay. All right. Call me Jay. Same two questions.
All right. So I'm going to start with the second one. So I agree with what BG's saying 100%. To me, it just depends on where the money's coming from. So if after the contracts are done, maybe they can still keep it. But if they start seeing the switch where more people are starting to play Call of Duty, specifically on Xbox, and the revenue on PlayStation is way lower, they can bite the bullet, remove it, and then have that small percentage or smaller compared to the Xbox of players sort of be like, either you stay here or you're going to force yourself to go here with everybody else, right? Another way that they can go about it, I think it's going to stay no matter what for the foreseeable future. But another thing that they can do that BG brought up, and you know, it's a good idea, is Warzone in itself is completely separated from the mainline Call of Duty. The only thing that resembles it are the weapons and the operators that they move over to Warzone. Maybe they put a new map in, but if you don't buy the new Modern Warfare, you can still play Warzone 2. It's completely separate. But for those that like to play the multiplayer or like the campaign or like the Spec Ops or the zombies, they could potentially have the mainline games not released on PlayStation. They can keep Warzone, but if you want to play multiplayer and all these other stuff, you have to buy it on Xbox, and that'll just make people just be like, all right, I'll just play everything on Xbox, then now why keep it on PlayStation? Okay. And what was the first question?
Do you think the deal's gonna go through? And if you don't think, why?
Yeah, I also think it's gonna go through. I don't really have much say in this. I'm pretty sure BG just covered all the tracks. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Jay Bari, I know you got the most skin in this game because you're the COD warrior.
Oh nah, call me Jay up there too. He just being coy.
Oh shit. But he can't rely on his PC when you know what I'm saying. He got his PC at the end of the day. So what you got, Jay?
Nah, the deal is definitely going to go through. It's clear as day. I think I just seen like Bobby Kotick make a statement, you know, talking about you know, new Call of Duty and Overwatch, and I think it's a World of Warcraft content coming later, and we're finalizing the share, the 95, I think, per share for whoever. With a Microsoft acquisition. So yeah, you're not making statements like that if you don't think it's gonna you know, go through. But as far as your second question, what was that again?
So the second question, if Microsoft gets the opportunity, meaning the marketing deal or all legal contracts in association with Sony is over, and they have the ability to make Call of Duty exclusive, do you think they will do it?
No, I don't think they would do that. I don't think Microsoft is built like that. I don't think that's that's not their business model anymore, especially what they're saying. And I don't think they would do something like that, because I do think that PlayStation is placing themselves where they have certain leverages. So Microsoft would not do something like that. That's why I'm thinking, like, you see an acquisition like Bungie and all that as well. Yeah, you got to do more with, games as a service games, but that's a huge acquisition, you know, for if Microsoft's like, oh, we're gonna take COD, which COD is a bigger game, but you know, PlayStation, you know, they can bid war over that with that stuff. But I don't think they built like that, man, to do that. Call of Duty, regardless, when this acquisition go through and when this deal go through, yes, you know, people's gonna migrate, but it's still gonna generate a lot of money on PlayStation, and I don't think they will ever, you know, leave that out. You look at something like Minecraft. Minecraft is, you know, their biggest game. and they're still dropping new content, for Minecraft on all platforms. They're not saying, oh, this is going to be only on Xbox here. No, they're not doing that. You know what I mean? Because they're just not built like that. That's not their business model anymore. 360 days or whoever was in charge of that, I'd have had a different tune. But right now, I don't think they're built like that to make anything exclusive when it comes to Call of Duty.
Okay.
That's a great point. That's a great point because Microsoft wants us. They don't really want you on their console. They just want you under service. Okay. And Call of Duty, the Call of Duty service, when they own it, it'll be there. So if you're subscribed to Call of Duty, you have an account which to play on Call of Duty. That's a Microsoft product now. So you're technically in their ecosystem, whether or not you're on the Xbox.
Exactly. That's what they're trying to do. Just like Minecraft, you got to log into Xbox Live if you want to play online, regardless of what platform you're on. That's what they want to do. That's what they're going to build.
I think everybody said everything.
All right. Havoc, you're good? You pretty much agree with what they're saying?
Yeah. I guess there's a few more things. I say with the first question, I basically say, it's going to probably most likely going to go through anyway. Second thing is that I really don't trust companies at all, especially a $1 trillion company.
They didn't become $1 trillion for no reason.
Yeah, right. So if they find it more profitable just to find it exclusive, and that's all they need to do, they'll do it. But the way they looking like they're gonna put it on everything. They already said they got the app on the TV and everything. At this point, maybe it's possible they're gonna keep it multiplayer. Probably put Game Pass on PlayStation as well. Who knows? If they find it more profitable, they'll do it.
All right. Okay.
Something too is they're bringing out Warzone on the phone as well. They're putting out Warzone itself on phone. So Activision itself is doing a lot of moves to put Call of Duty on different weird devices like a mobile phone, and obviously Microsoft would want to backtrack on that. So again, like Jay Bari said, they're a service company now. They're no longer like the 360 days, so they want the most amount of people on their software, on their services as possible, and buying shit on their services.
They spread their platform across multiple devices, many devices. So when they was talking about getting I guess what was it, billions or trillions of gamers, whatever. I guess that's what they were talking about. Or was that? That was Microsoft who said that, right?
The what?
They wanted billions of gamers or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Microsoft always says that.
2 billion gamers in the world.
They always say reach 1 billion gamers. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ! Spotify can't even reach 1 billion music listeners. Stop it. But anyway, but they're the ones that said that.
Game Pass. No, Game Pass ain't even reached 30,000 yet, did it? Yeah. 30 million. I mean,
I think it's at 25 million was the official count.
Yeah, that was the last time I read it.
So it's gonna be a while.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Just basically.
The last thing I want to say too, I feel like it's a dumb move not a dumb move, but anybody that really plays Call of Duty and it's the main game that they play, it don't even make no sense for you to play that game through Game Pass. You're gonna be paying double the amount that you were paying anyway that you would play for the game. So, I know a lot of people are trying to push that. It's all the Call of Duty players, they're going to transition over here to Xbox because they can just play Call of Duty through Game Pass. I don't think... listen, I hang
That's what I've been questioning, Bari. That's what I've been questioning. I'm not sure because, I feel like most of them, that's probably 1 out of 3 games they even buy in the entire year. Yeah. Most Call of Duty players, as we know, are casuals. They get their Maddens, their 2Ks, and Call of Duty probably the third game they play. So do they really care? Because if the difference is how much the $70 versus getting it on Game Pass, do they really care that much? I don't know.
Yeah, the
difference
is 180 to 130. If you do it on PlayStation and that's all you really play, you're paying 130 a year. 60 for the online for PS Essential and 70 for the game. Or you go on Xbox and you're paying 180 a year.
Yeah, maybe it's a big deal. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
So it's a $50 difference.
But do you care about any of the other titles on there?
That's what I was gonna say because BG and Jay Bari are talking about it. I feel like in the perspective that only Modern Warfare 2 will be in there on Game Pass, and then the next one will be there too whenever it comes out. the way that I see it is that I feel like Microsoft is going to put the backwards compatible ones. I know that some people, you might not be like, I don't want to play an old game, but there's a lot of people that still want to play the old games, especially if they have like a Saturday night with their friends, some shit like that. And if they get Modern Warfare 2 on top of Cold War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 19, and then all the 360 games on Game Pass for $180 a year, that's way cheaper than having to buy them all separately and then buying the next one, because they get all that, and then whenever the next Call of Duty comes out and it is on Game Pass, still a year they're technically paying less.
The thing is, majority of people already have those games. Like what you're saying right now, PlayStation does that right now. Like Call of Duty games has been in PlayStation Plus before they offer that stuff up in Plus, and it's been in PS Now as well. But you don't really see people really like talking about it because they already have the game, they already own it.
So
yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna ask Project Cloud the same question, but I want you to remember those little points because that's gonna feed my point. Hey, Project, I know you jumped on, but 2 questions. I don't know if you heard what the 2 questions I'm asking. Do you know the topic? Are you familiar what's going on with the whole Microsoft, Sony, Call of Duty? Have you been read up on that?
Yeah, I was listening to you guys on my way back here.
All right, awesome.
So I know loosely what you're talking about. But yeah, if you could tell me the specific questions,
so
that'd be helpful.
So the 2 questions. First question is, do you think this deal is going to go through, meaning Microsoft will be able to acquire Activision? But if you don't, then give your reason why. And then the second question, if Microsoft has that opportunity, meaning the full rights to Call of Duty, and they are able to make it exclusive, meaning pull it away from PlayStation, do you think they will actually make that decision?
Okay. So I'll first say, yes, the deal's going to go through. I really don't see any other viable option for Activision. The company on a corporate level is tarnished. Individual developers have, like I love Infinity Ward as developer. I love Sledgehammer Games. So yeah, they have fantastic talent, for myself. But yeah, I really think that on an investment level, this deal has to go through. Like Activision doesn't really have much of a future per se. I mean, sure, Call of Duty will continue to be profitable. So unless Activision wants to go private and get off the stock market, if they want to still be kind of in the stock market, they have to be sold. And management needs to change as well. It's it isn't optimal. Let's say it that way. As to will Microsoft basically take COD exclusive to Xbox? It's really 50-50 to me. I can see good arguments for and against. I could see they did that with Bethesda, even though they were a little bit wishy-washy and it sounded much more pro PlayStation before the deal happened. Then again, I mean, COD is such a huge thing, and you can definitely see the Minecraft argument being applied to Call of Duty. And Microsoft has even said that, hey, we don't intend to take it away. We at least have, come to multi-platform release for another 3 years. So, I mean, that's good. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I think we need to see the deal go through, see some headlines. Honestly, it's anybody's game at this point.
Good to go. All right. So here's my take. So I'll do the first easy one. The first question was, I absolutely think the deal's going to go through because the only negative issue behind all this is just strictly on Sony. No one else is impacted by this situation. And in reality, nothing in this situation is going to hurt Sony. Sure, it's going to hurt them as in making less revenue, but that's not what the FTC is concerned about. They're concerned about actual overall competition within the market and huge major shifts in the market. Like, if this is this going to be a huge major shift in the gaming market? And it's not. Majority of everybody's going to be fine. Sony just, at worst case scenario, Sony loses 30% cut that they normally get from Call of Duty. And Sony can't even use the whole, we could lose our players, players could leave our ecosystem. Sony built their ecosystem because of exclusivity. I'm pretty sure Sony gained a lot of people because of Spider-Man and because of God of War, and then that's just how the game goes. So there's nothing really that a trade regulator, at least from my opinion, that's going to show any concern. There's nothing market damaging of Microsoft controlling Call of Duty. The only group that's going to feel any type of impact would be Sony potentially losing the 30% cut if the game is completely, exclusive. Now, leading into exclusive, and what I think is going to happen, and Microsoft, if the opportunity was availed, and some of you already alluded, I think Warzone and anything Warzone related is going to stay on PlayStation because that's the free-to-play. It's ongoing. It's a live service. It's like Fortnite, Apex. That's going to stay there forever. And I think Microsoft, just like Elder Scrolls, and I'll give you the perfect example. Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, those are going nowhere. They're going to support those versions of the games from Bethesda day one. They get the maps day one. They got everything day one. Elder Scrolls Online is going nowhere. It's staying on PlayStation forever. But the actual Elder Scrolls game, they're not getting that. They're not getting the individual soul game. The next Fallout, you're not getting that either, right? And I think they're going to repeat that same process when they're able to with Call of Duty. Warzone, Warzone 2, Warzone 3, map pack, that's all going to stay. It's free to play, it's on phones, whatever. But the individual annual releases is going to go exclusive, in my opinion, for one reason only. Game Pass is Microsoft's new console. And what's one of the best ways to sell consoles? You got to have exclusives. The reason why I said, guys, hey, all that stuff you said about, the price is not that important. Jay Barry said, old games ain't that important. That's the thing. Those things are not going to make people leave PlayStation, or at least the Call of Duty players leave PlayStation over to Xbox. Especially a 50 price difference. Like, all right, on PlayStation I spend $130, on Xbox I spend $180. I don't really care about those Xbox games. I'll just stay on PlayStation. Microsoft needs something to get those people out of PlayStation and onto Game Pass. Unless Game Pass is on PlayStation, PlayStation is not part of Xbox bottom line. Now, games like Minecraft, sure, you got it. Games like Apex, sure. Fortnite, yes. Warzone, yes. Elder Scrolls Online, because those are long-term, strategized games. But Microsoft needs to get people on Game Pass. That's their console. Xbox is just a device. Game Pass is the end state. If you are a Game Pass device, that is what they want. If you're not a Game Pass device, you're not helpful. You're not part of the goal. You know what I'm saying? You're just not part of the goal. You're not helping us. You're not helping Microsoft's vision. Game Pass is the vision, and they want people on it. And just like how PlayStation needs exclusive to get people on their platform and ecosystem, just like Nintendo needs exclusive, it's the same philosophy for Game Pass. And if you have a powerhouse IP, you got to do something with it. It just doesn't make sense to spend $68 billion and you literally, think about it. Microsoft's about to send $68 billion and it's status quo for most of the stuff. No, something's got to shift. They're doing this for a reason. Something's got to shift. And at the end of the day, you have to look at it as, how does this benefit Game Pass and how can this help grow Game Pass subscribers? So I think Warzone is going to stay, just like Elder Scrolls Online stays, Fallout 76 stays. But the Fallout, the Elder Scrolls actual games, and the Call of Duty annual releases, that's going to be Xbox exclusives. If you want to stay on PlayStation and play Warzone, if you want to stay on PlayStation and play Elder Scrolls Online, hey, that's your choice. No problem. Enjoy. But some of those gamers are going to be like, I'm not staying on PlayStation because I don't get the full Elder Scrolls experience. I don't get the full Fallout experience. I'm not going to be able to play these future games. I don't get the full Call of Duty experience. I still want to play the multiplayer. I'm going to go to Xbox, and now since I'm already on Xbox, I'm going to just subscribe to Game Pass. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's going to happen. I think it just, to me, that's the only thing that makes sense on all this. I just don't see overall a status quo. That's just my view.
Yeah, my thing is why would Xbox want to lose out and all that?
But no, it's not, they're not losing out, or at least in their mind, or at least, I ain't gonna say in their mind. In my mind, where I lose out in PlayStation revenue, I get back by taking your people. I'm taking your people. Your people is going to come to my house. And I'm willing to take that risk. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to take that risk because I need your people to come to my game. Because if my end state is Game Pass, simply making money off of Call of Duty that's not enough. The end goal is Game Pass. And since your console is not a Game Pass console, I got to make moves to get my Game Pass subscriber, because that's my bottom line. That is the so what. In fact, that's really the whole thing about Xbox. The whole thing about Xbox is Game Pass. I got to make moves, and now I bought this company, and I'm not gonna do anything with it. So the way I see it is, I'm gonna risk losing money in the annual versions of Call of Duty, and see if I can get it back or even make bigger gains by taking your audience and then coming to my house. Now the Warzone I'm gonna leave alone because that's free to play. That's on every device. free-to-play succeed on having as much device as possible, and you don't even need Game Pass for those games. Because now Sony, remember, Microsoft changed their stance. Free-to-plays are free. You don't have to subscribe to anything. So, in reality, Warzone and all those free-to-plays, they really don't do much for Game Pass. They don't do anything at all because they're free-to-plays. But I need the games that actually, either buy or cook it through Game Pass. I need those games to be impactful. And as you guys already said, a lot of PlayStation guys might be like, I'm not going to spend an extra $50 a year. I'll just stay on PlayStation. Nah, if I don't give you the choice, you gonna move now. And because we already seen it multiple times, Call of Duty gamers will leave your ecosystem. If you got Call of Duty gamers and that's saying, I can't play Call of Duty on PlayStation, hell nah. That's it. Wrap this shit up. Pack it up. I'm getting me an Xbox. And they'll do that decision like that. And then once they're on an Xbox, they have a choice. Either pay 100. Microsoft doesn't even advertise Xbox Live Gold anymore. They're most likely going to just sign up for Game Pass and then that's it. I think Microsoft is going to risk that annual subscription to gain Game Pass because that's their end goal. They got to do something. Game Pass has to grow. Game Pass, they have to get to 100 million or more.
All defeated bottom line, basically.
How else are you going to get to 100 million plus Game Pass subscribers if you don't make power moves and you don't take risks? You got to take the risk. And I think Microsoft will take the risk on the annual Call of Duty games to take portion of the PlayStation fan base and put them on Xbox. And then just enjoy that fan base.
I get where you're coming from, but like I said, there's a bigger game that Microsoft has than Call of Duty. And they're not doing anything that you're saying with that game. And that game generates more money, more players, more everything than what Call of Duty would ever do.
I see you're using Minecraft. But that's why I said Minecraft is more in line with Elder Scrolls Online. Just like Elder Scrolls Online, that's not leaving PlayStation.
Minecraft already.
Yeah, but they're having Minecraft stories. They're having Minecraft dungeons.
I know.
Those things are still coming to PlayStation as well.
I mean, I got it. Yeah, but then how come Elder Scrolls is not coming? How come Starfield is not coming? I mean, couldn't you say because PlayStation gamers buy the shit out of, Skyrim. They bought the shit out of that game. They bought the shit out of Fallout, especially during the PS4 gen. They did gain tremendous sales in Bethesda games. PlayStation gamers buy shit tons of Bethesda games. Hell, a lot of the people talking trash about Bethesda, I beat more Bethesda games than they did. And they were all up on the internet talking about it. Why isn't Microsoft still putting Bethesda games on PlayStation? Why did they cut the umbilical cord? Because you got to remember, it's about Game Pass. Now Minecraft, that's like a continuous live service game. So that's why I said Elder Scrolls is safe. Fallout 76 is safe. But when it comes to those individual installments, and you got to look at it this way. Call of Duty annual installments is almost like a refresh every year, right? It's like it's like starting over. You want the transition, so it's like starting over. Warzone's consistent. It just stays consistent, make money 24/7. So that's why I think Warzone's safe. That's gonna stay there. But they gotta take a risk, and they gotta make moves for Game Pass. And to have a Call of Duty IP and not do anything with it, at that point you gotta think like, all right, what's the bottom line? I don't think Microsoft is willing to spend $68 billion because Phil didn't advertise something big to push Game Pass. And it's not going to be Crash Bandicoot and Diablo 4. Those games aren't it.
I get what you're saying 100%, P-Rock, but like when I look at what Microsoft is saying and what they want to do, and then I look at what Activision is actually saying and what they want to do, it is a big contradiction going on there because Activision is talking about continuing to produce premium content for 2023 and beyond. But a lot of people, I feel like they're ignoring Activision's statement in that same PlayStation thing that it was showing there when they said that. But they're tying the Game Pass. Like when I see what Activision is saying there, it seems like they're saying like, yo, they're not putting that shit in no service. There's premium content that they continue to develop. I'll send you the screenshot of it so you can.
Yeah, they're gonna put down Game Pass. They're putting that shit on. I mean, when you at that point, then it really. And anybody could jump in. If let's say Call of Duty doesn't go on Game Pass, then this deal doesn't make sense at all. Like they did it for fucking Diablo and fucking what? Like what? Candy Crush? Like well, that doesn't make sense at all.
Xbox's existence in the gaming division is literally Game Pass centric now.
That's what I'm saying.
They're if that somehow doesn't pan out for them or fails or any, that's all they're all in. Like that's their main goal is to like make Game Pass succeed and get as many subscribers as possible. So I don't see any other reason they would get Call of Duty other than to put it in Game Pass and these other franchises, because you need content to buff Game Pass. That's what it's all about now.
Game Pass is the only reason why Xbox still exists, because Phil pitched this idea, and Satya Nadella is like, yes, I like it. This is all in. If it wasn't for Game Pass, they would have shut that division down. Satya's like, fuck this. I'm done with this bullshit.
I'm agreeing with y'all. I'm just putting out what Activision is saying in that same, articles that everybody's sharing. What PlayStation is saying. That's why I'm saying that there's a contradiction of what they're saying and what everybody think Microsoft wants to do with Call of Duty.
Well, listen to this. Microsoft only cares about, they're taking baby steps. All they care about is getting the deal due. Phil just said that there's no must-have games. It's $68 billion. You're spending $68 billion then. What are you spending $68 billion for if none of the games are must-have? You must want something. This is the biggest industry. This is one of the biggest industry mergers, like almost in industry, not just in gaming, like across the fucking, landscape. Whether it's movies, sports, technology, you know what I'm saying? I don't think even, what was it, the AMD, what was the merger AMD tried to do? With that smaller chip company, AMD and
I think it was NVIDIA.
Oh, that got shut down.
No,
it
wasn't
AMD ARM.
No, it was NVIDIA.
It was NVIDIA.
I know. Wasn't it like ARM or something?
No, it was NVIDIA. Was it AMD and ARM or NVIDIA and ARM?
No, NVIDIA and ARM.
Yeah,
it was NVIDIA.
Even that wasn't that big of a merger compared to this. Like, this is huge. So obviously, Phil says, it's not that big of a deal. Everybody be fine. They're just trying to downplay to get the deal through. But once that shit's done and that shit, once that signature's done and it's official, now it's game on. Now it's like, okay, what moves we're going to make. And whatever move Microsoft makes, you best believe it's Game Pass centric. It's it. Game Pass is it. If it doesn't benefit Game Pass, then what's the point? That's like that's the thesis. If this was an essay, the thesis is, how did this help Game Pass? Everything else is just whatever, and that's what my think is.
I can see Jay Bari's take on this based on what I'm reading here that he posted in the general chat. But it's like a contradiction to that I can or a counter to that is that they're probably purposely saying new premium content so that they don't confuse Warzone, which is a live service, with a standalone game, which is called the main releases, right? So they're probably just saying the new premium content, which is like, another a new Call of Duty multiplayer. It's not tied to Warzone. It's not Warzone. So we're gonna have Warzone as a live service, and we're gonna have our premium content, which we've already had, which is the mainline Call of Duties. And again, I see why them saying the word premium basically on purpose could lead into, like, they wouldn't put it on Game Pass if they're calling it a premium content, because they're gonna make more money by having them not on Game Pass. But I think that the more people get on Game Pass, the more that statement becomes less relevant, because there's so much people that they don't really need to have the game. They can have it sold separately, but if enough people join Game Pass because of Call of Duty, that's going to be a huge bump to the subscriber count, and they're just going to, it'll just keep going up and up.
I want to say this. So let me shout out to Okie Oak. He says, to be honest, only thing I think will be exclusive from Activision and Bethesda will be new IPs. Otherwise, I don't think the FTC will allow them to be bought. Thank you for the comment. I think Microsoft's playing it safe. But even if Microsoft admitted, when we buy Activision and the deal, we're gonna honor all current contracts. But once the contract's over, Call of Duty is gonna be exclusive, and it's only gonna be available on Xbox, PCs, and phones. Whatever devices. I don't think even that statement will stop it, because again, it only hurts Sony from a 30% cut, but it will not destroy the PlayStation brand. There's not going to be that many people. It's not like 50% of the PlayStation fan base is going to leave, because Call of Duty doesn't sell that much, and it's just a conversation of exclusives hoping to boost your brand, which Sony does all the time. You know what I'm saying? Sony does that all the time. So, hell, Final Fantasy is exclusive, or pretty much, from a third party. No one blinks an eye. And that didn't destroy the industry, So those things aren't good enough for the FTC to say, nope, that's not going to happen because Sony's got to get that 30% cut. I don't think they care about that. I think they just care about the overall balance of the ecosystem. And while this is a major shift for Microsoft themselves to make them more competitive, that level shift isn't industry breaking or whatever.
That's what I wanted. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like, this is not going to really do much to PlayStation. It ain't going to kill this, it ain't going to kill the brand like a lot of these people trying to, overblow this situation. You've been hearing the comments as of late. People are trying to say, you've seen the comments on like even the articles talking about their PlayStation is shook and scared. Like, I'm just saying, they not worried about this. Well, they worried, don't get me wrong. They're going to have less people engaging with their console, but they're more worried about getting maintaining the audience in their on their platform. That's it. Yeah. Basically, it's not that this game is going to destroy the PlayStation brand. I don't understand a lot of these people. I don't know how long when you're going to go into the Xbox situations, but I'm just going to say that they trying to go into like victory speeches and shit. It's weird. I don't know if you've seen something like that before.
We'll get into that's a good segue.
Whatever happens, whatever happens between Microsoft and Sony with this deal, when it does go through, the compromise will be enough to where people might want to move, but it won't be as big as like you don't got no Call of Duty on PlayStation. That's what I think.
That's a good segue.
Could be still like people just getting Game Pass, but they'll still have the PlayStation.
Yeah, because they'll have the PlayStation for other reasons. So this is a good segue, right? So the community reaction, right? And I'm going to be honest, after seeing some of the comments, I'm like, it kind of makes sense why there's so many catfish. Because even some of the comments that say, there's always stupid comments, but goddamn, do you guys really act this way in real life? Now I see why catfish be making bank off y'all. Like, goddamn, right? Just like how, recent with The Last of Us 2, it only sold 10 million. Well, using that logic, technically, Call of Duty only sells 10 million on PlayStation, specifically on PlayStation. Because when we talk about 20 plus million, it's all platforms. It's what Xbox does and PC does combined, right? And then also on the PlayStation 4, but combined it's like 20 plus million. But when you look at specifically the PlayStation platform itself, it's like around 10 to 15 million individually on that platform, right? So that's not enough to kill the platform, at all, right? Obviously, Sony still sees a huge chunk of sales because of add-on content, primarily add-on content, right? That's where the moneymaker's at, that 30% cut. So, of course, if Sony loses $1 billion a year off of, Call of Duty, that's like, holy shit. But as you can see, Sony makes like $28 billion a year in PlayStation revenue and stuff like that, right? So it's not going to kill the brand. But we'll start with BG. From your reaction from what you've seen, right? How ridiculous is the community getting? Why can't we just have, like right now on this podcast, we had a good talk, whatever. Why does this always have to be something like, oh, Sony shook? Like, what are these dudes talking about? And like, why this conversation always goes to shit? And then they get mad at me on why I talk shit. Like, look at the community. Look at half the people that respond to my timeline with bullshit. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, it's always, the reaction is always just never like accurate. It's always like embellished and very exaggerated. Like when these comments came out, what Sony made and the reaction to it, I'm like I don't get it, right? Because some of the stuff he said is some of the things like we knew this already. Like what did he say that there's nothing currently that rivals Call of Duty,
which is facts. We said it ourselves all the time.
Bro, we've been saying this for years. This is common knowledge for years. I don't know why, because this man said it. Like they knew that. We knew that. I don't know why that's like groundbreaking. That's a groundbreaking comment to some people. And yeah, it's just the reaction is just very embellished, and it's like Sony's gonna go extinct, the way of the dinosaurs. I'm like, bro, come on. Do y'all realize, like, for these multi-million, billion, whatever companies, y'all realize it takes a lot, right? Mm-hmm. A lot for a company to go the way of the dinosaurs, to just be shut down. We know Sony's most important division is gaming, right? That's where they make most of their money, no doubt. But this is nowhere near the worst position we've seen PlayStation in and Sony in. Not even close.
I think PS3 was bad. PS3, bro, you remember that, Jen?
Oh my, bro! They were selling buildings off left and right. They're literally whatever agency that is that rates the credit of businesses.
Oh, junk status. Remember junk status?
The worst status ever.
I forgot about that. Junk status. That was crazy.
That's when I bought stocks in Sony. When they said that junk shit, I racked up.
Oh shit! Jay Barr took advantage. He's like, got it for $1.
Yeah, it was like $16. It was like $16 at the time when I got into Sony stock.
Oh shit!
They had junk status. They were selling off buildings and assets. They were closing studios. I'm like, and y'all. And
remember Activision? Bobby Kotick said that if this was 2009, so PlayStation's already been on the block for like 3 years, and he made official comments. He officially said if Sony doesn't improve PS3 sales, he may have to look into stop supporting PlayStation. So like no Call of Duty.
Exactly.
Like yo, it's crazy.
Gabe Newell said that PlayStation 3 was trash.
Bro. They should, and it was like a month later. It was just launched. Bro. And Gabe was like, they should just stop selling it and do over.
PlayStation 3 got annihilated, bro, like on every front. But for some reason, people think now Sony seems to be doomed. Sony's doing fine and doing great, matter of fact, right? But they think this one, this Call of Duty thing is going to bring them down. I'm like, bro, like I think that PlayStation now, and I'm not going to get into the gaming thing yet, but I think this puts them into a little bit of a corner where now they have to counter. There's nothing you can do to rival Call of Duty. We know that, right? Yeah. There's nothing to make up for what you're going to lose, for what you could be losing. But that still doesn't mean that you don't react. You still react. You gotta try. You still, you still become aggressive and you try out different things, right? That's what you do. And that ends up benefiting us as the gamer, because you just they're going to start trying everything here and there to keep, people on the platform and to keep it attractive. So it actually ends up being a good thing for the gamer in different ways. But, Twitter is Twitter. I don't mind it. The Twitter spaces and everything like that. I find it funny and everything I find it funny mostly. But most of these people don't even know how to even really read. One, read. Two, read a quarterly report. That's what I stay out of the quarterly report, discourse on Twitter. I'm like, half of y'all don't even know how to read this. Half of y'all don't know what this means, bro. Can we keep it real? Y'all don't know what this means. And it's okay. It's okay to say you don't know, outside of Nebellion posting the Cliff Notes version of what this stuff means, his little bullet points.
Yeah.
If he did not do that, none of y'all would know what none of this means.
Or Zuhei, he does it, his little clips, or
exactly.
Or
thank God, y'all better be thanking God for them, because outside of that, none of y'all would know what none of this stuff means.
What if that's true? That's a good point. So let's just go into the next topic, because I think this is like the heart of the matter, right? So we already know Sony. What? Are we good? All right. So Sony, we all know they're making 10 live service games, right? Do you think this will, or do you think since the moment Microsoft, and they probably knew already, right? Even before Microsoft officially announced it, I'm pretty sure at that top level, they got people with rumblings. So Sony probably already knew what was happening, but they just can't say anything because, whatever, business etiquettes and stuff like that. So I would imagine some of the people in the industry already knew, even before Microsoft made the official statement, that something like this was going to happen. But with Sony's 10 live service games, do you think this puts even more of a fire to try to push? I mean, they got Bungie for a reason, right? So we'll start with BG because, all right, so for a little history lesson, around maybe 2 years into PS4's life, or 3 years at a certain point, BG goes on Twitter, and I'm going to paraphrase, right? And then BG could take over. he paraphrased, and I remember this. I don't know if he said on the podcast. He's either Twitter or on a podcast. I can't remember, but you did.
I said it everywhere. I screamed it to the
I think you even said on Instagram and your family's page. And they're like, "What the hell is this dude talking about?" But he said, and this was funny. He said, "Now that Sony is charging me for online." Wait, no, not even. You were something to the effect of, "How did I get more multiplayer games from PlayStation when online was free, aka the PlayStation 3 gen, as compared to now that I'm paying for online and they're barely giving me anything?" And that started an uproar. I remember the conversation on Weapon Wheel. "Oh, Sony doesn't need to do that. There's Call of Duty, blah, blah, blah. We're tired of it. We need single-player games." And you're like, "Hey, man, Sony can't rely on this just as much as they can't rely on third-party single-player, blah, blah, blah." I mean, everybody went after you, right? Hey,
yep.
Do you think now, one, do you feel vindicated? Like, "Ha, gotcha, bitches. I warned ya." But number two, do you think Sony's going to try to really be serious into, hey, we really got to do something because we could potentially lose out on Call of Duty money, and how we're going to make that up as best as possible?
Yeah, I definitely feel like, all that screaming I did, people are finally like seeing, what I was talking about, because when you rely on something that's not yours, anything can happen, right? Now, even though we've said Call of Duty, for the foreseeable future, most likely will stay on PlayStation, there were a lot of people when that Activision acquisition announcement came out were shaking in their boots because they thought their precious Call of Duty was going to be taken away, right? Now, let's say, even if PlayStation has
BG, just say my name, brother. Just
Yo,
say my name.
that was Jabari. My man, that podcast, he was mad as hell. He's like, God damn, this stupid ass. He was like, J-Bar was like, "This stupid ass company. Why the fuck do we even need an Xbox? This company's trash."
It's not only you, Bar. You was one of them.
Man. I ain't sensitive, BG. I ain't sensitive.
It's not only you. I'm just talking about, you and your brethren, your Call of Duty brethren, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I told him, you can't depend on something that's not yours. Anything could happen to it. So when the acquisition happened and they were shaking in their boots because they didn't know what this really meant yet, right? At the bare minimum, if PlayStation had other, their own multiplayer games, you at least as a PlayStation fan had a fallback. Now, when that acquisition happened and you didn't know what was going to happen, PlayStation had no multiplayer games for you to, really rely on. They had factions, they had Uncharted 4, but let's be real, they didn't really have a go-to multiplayer. Now, all these dudes was looking like Will Smith in the empty mansion. Like, where they at? We ain't got nothing. Things might be gone. Like, what we gonna do? Start panicking. And this is what I was saying. PlayStation should be, if you're gonna charge me for online, you should be providing me with content to play online. Don't tell me about FIFA, Madden, Call of Duty, Battlefield, EA, 2K, all of them. They're not charging me to play online. PlayStation is charging me to play online. So you should also provide me content to play online. And I got stoned and I got, "Shut up. We ain't trying to hear all that. Get out of here." That's what they told me. We don't care. Get out of here.
Yo, we're not a multiplayer fan base, BG.
The only reason why I pushed back at BG a little bit on when he was saying that is because the games that PlayStation do provide that have multiplayer, he don't play. You know what I mean? It's not just like PlayStation was providing it. It was more so PlayStation not providing anything that he likes.
What games were those, Barry? What games were those?
You had their racing games, their fighting games.
Come on.
Wait, hold on. What fighting game? What fighting game?
Uncharted.
What fighting game?
What fighting game? I really don't.
Sony doesn't have a first-party fighting game.
Well, not first-party fighting game, but it's just like it's exclusive.
It's only on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's still that's not theirs. Okay, and you're talking about Gran Turismo.
The thing is, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying as far as from a first party standpoint. I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying, even with the first party games that they did put out there, you know what I mean? You just don't play.
I played Uncharted. I played Factions.
Yeah.
I don't play Gran Turismo because I don't like racing games.
Facts, because racing games is trash.
What else was there? Okay, you talk. I know like they usually have some Arc Systems fighting game.
They got Fat Princess.
Like the thing is, PlayStation they have the
Fat
it's not
Princess.
like competitive it is competitive, but it's like a lot of co-op multiplayer.
Come on, say it, Fat Princess.
Right.
He wasn't down with Fat Princess.
And I like Fat Princess, but the problem was just the generation
lit, yo.
just the generation before. Just the generation before.
They did a bad job.
PlayStation, a lot of these multiplayer games weren't necessarily the best. Like you had your Mod Nation Racers and
my God.
there was a bunch of just
PlayStation,
obscure
they put multiplayer in God of War. What was it? Ascension.
Yeah.
It was a shooter, bro.
Which
By the way, shooter.
Which, by the way, Ascension was pretty underrated in my opinion. That multiplayer was pretty underrated, but they tried, even though the multiplayer was obscure and it wasn't like this groundbreaking breakaway, success necessarily, but they still put it in there, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying every game has to have multiplayer because every time I say, oh, why didn't this game have multiplayer? People be like, every game doesn't have multiplayer. No shit, that's not what I'm saying. But there are certain games that clearly should have had multiplayer. Like when you look at like last gen, like with the Order 1886, you can't tell me that game shouldn't have multiplayer. I'm not entertaining that. Like,
oh yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
That game should have multiplayer.
Like separately from the single player though, like a multiplayer horde mode or something.
Certain games should have co-op at bare minimum, and they had nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's all my thing was.
I got to push back on the co-op thing, but the multiplayer aspects as far as the mode, I'm with that.
And the last thing I'm gonna say, the Uncharted had co-op, and I played those. The last thing I'm gonna say
that was on PS3.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Like Fortune had that too, or should have.
Mm-hmm. The last thing I'm gonna say is, of course, you can't beat Call of Duty. You can't beat Call of Duty at all, right? But you definitely can't beat Call of Duty by trying to make another Call of Duty, right? Mm-hmm. That fails. You remember like when everybody, at the height of Call of Duty's popularity, everybody thought the solution was let's make a clone.
Killzone 3?
And all of those clones failed. Yeah, and all the clones failed, right? So their most successful multiplayers was just when not only PlayStation's, but everybody else's was when they just did something unique, something different. Because believe it or not everybody, even though at the height of its popularity, not everybody wanted to play Call of Duty or play something that was like Call of Duty at the time. Mm-hmm. So these other, like even BioShock 2, there was actually a lot of fans that liked that multiplayer. A lot of people don't even probably remember that had multiplayer, but a lot of people liked that because it was different, right? So the best way that I think what PlayStation should do now is with these live service games, provide something different. There's a lot of gaps in the industry as far as multiplayer games. Like with Twisted Metal, there's no other. If you're a vehicular combat fan, you have no option right now.
We have those.
If you're what was that?
Like, are there vehicular combat gamers in this industry? Like, in this new paradigm.
I think there are. We didn't know that there were battle royale fans until they started making battle royales.
That's true.
And I think like the vehicular combat games absolutely should make could make a comeback. At bare minimum, you'll have a fan base just because you're the only one there, right? Outside of Rainbow Six Siege, how many tactical shooters are there?
That's true.
There's not that many.
They got to bring SOCOM back. I just don't see
exactly. That's a space for SOCOM.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Shout out.
So there's a bunch of spaces and holes for these PlayStation IPs. That's my point.
So here's a question: Alfonso Carter with the super chat. I guess it says, "What about Destiny, Rainbow Six? What about the Division?" So I don't know. I'm not really sure what he's asking. I know Destiny. Yeah, obviously Bungie's part of Sony, but that game is supporting everything. Rainbow Six and Division, I mean, those are Ubi games. Are you trying to say... Yeah,
they're just multiplats.
Are you trying to say, like, acquire Ubisoft? Because I think somebody mentioned that. I think it was Craig, actually. Acquire Ubisoft and make those games exclusive. I mean, those games are popular.
Ubisoft is trash.
But man, Ubisoft.
The thing is, I think that Sony is best when they do it themselves and they don't buy. I mean, they're not really known for buying companies, right? They're more known for cultivating them. So they're best known. So they're at their best when they're even if the game flops, right? Like those PS3 games that flopped that were multiplayer, it was mostly due to the PlayStation networks being trash. But they were their best when they were doing it themselves. You know, like Mag right now on PS4 and PS5 would be insane. But they're not trying, bro. They're not fucking trying.
I would say that PlayStation's online strategy, when they implemented on PS3, was too soon, right? And I know that doesn't make sense. It's because the PS3 wasn't a good network online console. It just wasn't. It was, you know, the Bluetooth headsets didn't work. You know, and while the online was free, it was fragmented. It was still work in progress, right? Sony finally figured it out with the PlayStation 4, and when they finally figured it out, they didn't put in the effort. I think some of those games, like Mag especially, if it was to come out now, it would be much better experience because you will actually have the power to handle all those users. They will probably be able to do it at 60 frames. It will be a much better experience now on the network that's better now as compared to the PS3. Like some of those things was just ahead of its time. You know, Warhawk.
Mag
Galaxy
was an evolution of SOCOM.
Yeah.
Because because it's like instead of it being you with a squad, it's like you and your friends, and you're the squad leader. So you're like, all right, yo, you can talk with other squad leaders. Like, yo, I'm gonna do this, and you.
Yeah, Mag was
Zipper. Zipper was the one that did it.
It's like Mag was the vibe, bro.
Too, PlayStation was so ahead of its time at that time with PS3 because majority of those games were dedicated servers. You know what I mean? They wasn't peer to peer.
Even Resistance. Resistance multiplayer wasn't the main thing, and it was still dedicated servers, and it was still 60-ish players. It was insane.
You know,
massive players.
And I don't think people realize what was it. Warhawk was always online game. Before that, Warhawk was like so.
Starhawk also had.
Starhawk. I said Galaxy Hawk. Yeah, Starhawk. So you see what I'm saying? So those games, Sony fit the paradigm of great, producing multiplayer. It was just in a bad gen with it was just a bad decade. It was a bad gen.
It takes a lot of money to keep those games running as well. So it was a bad time for them because they was in the hole for sure.
The online was free, so they didn't have that subscription revenue to keep the network. I mean, it was a different time. Texas. With the super chat, it says, "Why y'all ponies tripping? Hit the like. It shouldn't take a bot in pony clothing me to tell y'all this." Oh shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to hit the add button and stuff like that. So
those games were like live service before live service. Basically,
really?
they could be live service. Literally,
right? Yeah.
Yo, but the thing is, I feel like PlayStation, they have that contingency plan as far as like, all right, they hear the cries as far as people saying that they need more multiplayer stuff. And yeah, we seen them, saying that they're going to be doing 10 in a matter of years. We see the partnerships with Deviation. A lot of people sleep on Deviation because, not me, because Treyarch is like one of my favorite studios, and majority of all the Treyarch people, like from the older, Black Ops games, created that studio. They're a part of that studio. So I got really, really high hopes for Deviation games and what they're creating. They just got to show it. Man. And hopefully it can be consistent. It can be a complete package, just like Call of Duty, man. So, what we'll see.
Yeah, they got to come with a solid multiplayer. I mean, they can't be producing Predator fucking
proving grounds.
Yeah, whatever that Predator game. Like, you know what I'm saying? They gotta really. They gotta treat these multiplayer studios, and I think they are, because I talked about by 2024 or something. Like more than 50% of the budget is going to go to online service games, to these developers, right? And I was like, man, that's a huge shift in how they're allocating money. So, but if they somehow, with the help of Bungie, treat all these new studios as creating multiplayer games the way they handle their first party, like the way they handle Guerrilla, the way they handle Naughty Dog, and everybody else, PlayStation might finally find that right balance of satisfying the multiplayer crowd in a single player crowd, but I think BG said it best. You're still not gonna create your own Call of Duty at this point. Call of Duty is just gonna keep doing it until it fails, until one day it just falls on its own, like Rome. It's gonna succeed, and nothing's gonna bring down Rome other than itself and collapse on itself and stuff like that. All right, so all right, go ahead, Patrick.
Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I think we're in a whole new era now where Sony has been able to take the learnings from the industry because, you know, like we were sort of saying earlier, the PS3 era, everything was way ahead of its time. In fact, what's interesting is, you know, that's sort of the era where you had multiplayer without microtransactions being a big thing. You know what I mean? You sort of had free multiplayer, or at least, you know what I mean? You pay your Xbox Live subscription, you pay your PlayStation Plus subscription, might have had a different name at the time or whatever. But anyway, we're in a different multiplayer era now where microtransactions exist. And granted, am I a fan of those? No. But I can accept them if you give me a great product. And what I hope Sony can finally do is be like, hey, let's actually show the industry what we do for our single-player titles. Hey, we're actually going to bring that over to the multiplayer side. Because I don't really think any mainstream AAA multiplayer game is really delivering fully, even now. Like, I mean, Destiny would probably be the closest example where they're delivering a good cadence of content, and they have, you know, they've certainly had all the learnings, but now that Destiny has gone through the fire, and, you know, Bungie is now officially part of PlayStation, like, hey, maybe we can actually get something that, like, even single-player guys are like, maybe I need to start playing multiplayer. I think especially with what Naughty Dog's doing, because they're actually, you're going to have a full-blown story, you know, in that Last of Us project. Bro, I'm excited to see what that's going to be. I mean, it still has its work cut out for it, for me, but you say Naughty Dog storytelling in a multiplayer game, you got my attention.
Okay. I mean, for me, I pretty much, I slowed down heavily on multiplayer. I mean, I used to be heavy into multiplayer, especially during the PS3 gen, in the beginning of PS4. But, you know, as you get older and having a 12-year-old make fun of your mom, and you're like, all right, this is fucking, I'm done, right? But I'm gonna get Modern Warfare this year, only because I'm just gonna talk shit on any fucking Xbox dude. Like, any that comes on my timeline this holiday, and they come up with some, it's gonna be, I'll be like, you want to pull up on some Call of Duty? Because I got my crew. We're gonna do this? And they'll be like, I don't really play that. Then shut the fuck up. Like, I ain't trying to hear y'all shit, right? You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the new, let me see your gamer tag. That's gonna be the new, let me see your gamer tag. I'm gonna find out how many of these dudes are really Call of Duty players and stuff like that, right? But it's pretty awesome.
They not, bro. They not. Yo, I'm seeing a lot of people posting up stats in Call of Duty. I'm seeing a lot of 1.0. I'm like, yo. Shit. Jay Barry's the old school player, though. The kill death ratio player.
It's not even about that, though, Barry. It's not even, like stats don't mean nothing when your movement is like a bot. Like, you move like you're...
they bot like...
You move... Yeah, if you move bot like, bro, nah, dude.
All right, so it's gonna be a good time. Anyway, so I think I covered the topics I want. Anybody want to address anything else? I think that's it.
No, not really. Basically, I'm really excited to see what Sony does when it comes to live service games, because they're unlike anybody else in the gaming industry. They're very unique in their single player games, and they've already shown us on PS3 that they are capable of making, just like Ubisoft, they make like creative and unique, maybe niche type of experiences when it comes to multiplayer.
Ubisoft,
but yeah, Ubisoft, bro. Not Spec Ops, but Spy vs. Mercs, Rainbow Six Siege, freaking Watch Dogs, Watch Dogs 2, Watch Dogs 1. I mean, where the invasions, the Division, the freaking. The Dark Zone in the Division, there's no game like that yet, or out. The Crew, it's like an open world racing game. I know it's just racing, but still, you know, they have done a bunch of unique multiplayer games in the past. So it's just that some of them are just dead because they're not supporting them no more. But the Sony showed like Mag, Starhawk, Warhawk, SOCOM Confrontation, I think it was, which was only play online. They had. Yeah, they had shit like that. So I'm really excited to see what they do, and hopefully most of them are new IPs, because it's like I just want to see something new from them. You know, I don't really see, aside from Uncharted, I don't really see other Sony IPs working really well when it comes to multiplayer. But I could be wrong. But yeah, I just want Mac back, honestly.
Yeah, same thing with what Jay just said. Like, that was the same logic that I applied to when people told me that, Sony was, if you tell me PlayStation Studios, like everybody under the umbrella is the best at what they do, the best developers in the industry. You can't be the best. I don't believe you can be the best if you can only do one thing. If you're only good at single player games, are you really the best? I think the best can do everything. I think the best at anybody is well rounded. And I believe they can make good multiplayers. Right? It was just weird to me. People treat Sony, that, PlayStation Studios, like they're the god developers. But when it comes to anything multiplayer, they act like they're like just these infants who can't tell like their fingers from their fucking feet. Y'all act like they suddenly turn into like just numbnuts, like, just absolute dummies when it comes to multiplayers. Like they can't do it. Like I don't know why y'all treat them with kitty gloves, right? And like if they're the best, they make unique single players, then they can figure out a way to make unique multiplayers. They can if they don't have the actual staff, they can hire people. They do it all the time. They got Bungie now. Bungie is literally going to be used as a live service council. Yeah. Like you got any questions? Go to them. Go ask the live service councils, for guidance.
Get the approval from them.
Exactly. Yeah. That's literally what they're going to be. Yeah. They're like the like the Green Lantern Corps have the freaking whatchamacallits on OWA. Yo. Anytime they need help, go to OWA. Get some help and knowledge from them and shit. That's what they're there for. So they can definitely do it.
I will say, to be fair, though, and I'm not talking about the extreme fanboys because they were ridiculous. But in the general consensus, the more moderate guys, at the time you did say that was also a time period where people were downplaying what I mean by people, the industry was downplaying single player experiences. It was around the time Phil Spencer said that games like Zelda and Horizon don't really hit. EA, Ubisoft. So you had merit, but you just said it during the period where single player gaming was perceived to be threatened. Because so many people were saying nah. And in reality, it was only Nintendo and Sony that was going against, because Sony and Nintendo went against the game. Well, let's put it this way: Nintendo, there is no grain. Nintendo just does what they want. They're on their own planet. Yep. They're in their own multiverse. They're not playing by. There is no rules. There is nothing you can say about Nintendo at this point. There is nothing that applies to them. It just gaming and how gaming is doesn't apply to them. They do whatever the hell they want. They're in their own world. So in reality, it was Sony going against the grain, where everybody was pivoting multiplayer live services. Phil Spencer's out there telling the world, hey, games are great. Zelda and Horizon are great, but they just don't hit as successful as multiplayer games. EA was saying the same sentiments. They all said these sentiments. Sony's like, nah, we still making these games, and they're going to be at the forefront. So I think that was it. I think it was the fear of, slow down, BG. Some people may have confused you because you were trying to say a totally different message, but I think some of your message, how other people received it, was similar. They put you in a box as Phil Spencer and EA, vice looking at the merit of just rounding out the overall Sony portfolio. Meaning you can do both, just have a good solid portfolio and stuff like similar to like Chris Righteous. He believes Sony's doing a poor job with JRPGs because they have none themselves, and they shouldn't be relying on Square Enix for that. They should be making their own JRPGs like they did in the past. They need to round out that portion. Me personally, I mentioned it before, for the sake of competition or for their fan base, the fan base lost a lot of Western RPG content because Fallout and Elder Scrolls are huge Western RPGs. They're not going to get that no more. Whatever Obsidian makes, the sequel to Outer Worlds, that's not there no more, right? Microsoft is really pushing and getting a lot of content on the Western RPG front. Avowed, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Outer Worlds, and any other new game. Sony right now... What else?
And they're also trying to put some foothold in the eastern side, too.
But right now, when you look at Western RPG, the only one really that resonates at this point is Horizon Zero Dawn, and it can't do it by itself. Like, Horizon cannot be the only title, and we can't put that type of pressure on Guerrilla because we want Guerrilla to be able to, one, create a shooter, because I think people are expecting, if there's any developer that could bring back SOCOM, people are expecting Guerrilla to do it. I don't know if it's true or not, but people are hoping that Guerrilla can do it, and people would like to see a new IP. I mean, it's always a good time, it's always a great thing to see the studios create a new IP, right? So we can't hold Guerrilla hostage to just be the Horizon Zero Dawn dev forever. Somebody has to add more Western RPGs, right? So there's a lot of things that Sony still needs to work out to be competitive, not just competitive, but to provide their audience around a well-rounded portfolio of just titles across the board. Except racing. One racer is good enough. Just definitely. That's it. GT7. You're good. Don't add another goddamn racer. Hey, we can't have two games where the point is who can do the best left turns. Like, that does not make sense. Leave that shit alone.
A point on that. Because I was gonna be like, hell no, bro, I want Motorstorm. But realistically, GT, like a game like GT, is like a more of a live service game, whereas Motorstorm can get old pretty quickly.
Yeah, like, leave that shit alone. Racing games, we don't need like 10 racing games. You know, it's like imagine Sony announced another baseball game. We would look at it like, what? Like, that doesn't make sense, you know? Yeah. But, you know, more RPGs of different kinds, different eras is always a good thing. More JRPGs, more multiplayer. And I think especially, and BG mentioned it, potential more consolidation, because I don't think that's going to stop. I think right now it's quiet because, you know, Microsoft's focusing on Activision. They're not going to announce tomorrow, we're going to try to acquire Ubisoft. They're not doing any of that. They're just gonna focus on Activision and let that roll out. Once that shit is done, what's up?
Nah, they really do need another studio. They got a team of Sobi over there, but they need another Japanese studio. That's somebody's over there to actually make these Japanese games.
JRPGs,
a lot of people talking about buying Square Enix or Capcom or whatever, but they actually do need a native like a Japanese studio made for Sony, and then actually make some more JRPGs or something, or anything in that limelight. Bring some Japanese games into it. Maybe they'll put more of an identity for Sony Studios. You know what I mean? Instead of just Western or Eastern, just more Japanese games.
Let me ask. Let me segue. Let me use that as the next question, because that's interesting. So I'll start with BG and go across with the thing of acquisition. What's your philosophy, and I'm not in terms of the business side, that if a studio like Sony or Nintendo or Microsoft, no matter, if they acquire somebody, what do you personally want out of it? Like, what would you see as, if they do it this way, this is what I would like to see, this is how I think is good for gamers?
Yeah,
not just simply talking shit and like, you don't get to play this game no more. Fuck you. Like, that's dumb as hell. Like, what is if you don't have it, then you don't have it. But if each of you had a philosophy on how a company, if they acquire, what would you like to actually see out of that acquisition?
They're supposed to make the studio better that they acquire.
Okay.
That's that should be like the biggest thing that I think go over a lot of people's heads, because they're too busy with the, the list wars and, the trying to win, the war on, the console war on Twitter and everything like that. When an acquisition is made, that studio should grow and get better and make better products, and the talent should get better, right? Nice. And that happens generally under PlayStation. That happens. Studios get better. You can literally see the growth from title release to title release. Mm-hmm. Like I'm interested to see how Housemarque grows under PlayStation, because to me they're almost like a Naughty Dog, in the way that like Naughty Dog wasn't really shit when PlayStation acquired them.
They have Way of the Warrior. Way of the Warrior.
Yeah, exactly. They wasn't shit. Like, nobody could have predicted that Naughty Dog started from where they were to what they are now. Nobody could have thought that, right? Yeah. So, I see Housemarque could like grow into something great, possibly. And yeah, that's what I really want. I want them. Yeah, I want you to make a game that I'm interested, and I want you to get better as a developer. Like, some of the acquisitions that PlayStation has made, it's like it's up in the air for me right now. I'm not sure. It doesn't really mean anything to me right now, because I need to know the game you're making. And I got to see, I guess, what type of studio you are. Like, I'm not a Destiny fan. So the Bungie acquisition, even though they're not under like PlayStation's umbrella, they're under Sony. Like the Bungie acquisition, you know, I don't care about Destiny. So that doesn't really mean anything to me right now. But they're working on a future IP. That might still be like multi-plat, I think. But your future IP, I want to see the growth. Even from Destiny, people seem to love Destiny. I want to see the growth. You know, that's what it is to me. It's about growth. It's not about the console war and stuff like that. It's about the growth in the content.
Yeah. So that's like when Microsoft announced they purchased Ninja Theory. I was actually happy because that company, because as an independent studio, they're only one flop away from just ceasing to exist, right? And when you're independent and you're putting funding for your own game, you know, like for example, if Microsoft did not purchase Ninja Theory and Ninja Theory published Bleeding Edge on their own, that's it. They would be done. That's it. They're gone. That game would have tanked them, but they get to survive.
That's a good point.
And they're getting bigger. Yeah. They gotten bigger. They got even a new studio. You know what I'm saying?
I was happy they acquired Bethesda because when you look at Bethesda games weren't selling. Dishonored 2 sold less than the first one. Evil Within 2 sold less than the first one. All the like Wolfenstein 2 sold like all the sequels to their games were flopping. Yes. And I liked all of those games. And I was like, I'm definitely not getting an Evil Within 3 now until they bought them. So I was happy about that.
So a lot of studios were about to close up shop if it wasn't for the acquisition purchase. So that's a good thing. So I agree with that. So Jay Bar, how about you? What's your thing?
My thing really and truly, I agree with BG. That's making the studios better, but also having the game exclusive to the platform, not for fanboy reason, but for just to fully utilize that console and take full advantage of it. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, pretty much.
You're tired of the Xbox stench games.
not even that. Like I feel like if you invest all this money into buying a studio and you're about to produce these games, I want to see those games fully utilizing the console, fully taking advantage of everything. So yeah, having a game exclusive to that platform, they can do that.
Okay, all right. Call me Jay.
Yeah, you're right about that, but it also depends on the game itself because it's like, think of something like Call of Duty, right? Like they could put Call of Duty only on Xbox and make it as good as possible, but it's like the engine. Yeah, but it's like it's inherently made to just be a game for everybody. So I definitely see what you're saying there. But I also agree with what BG said. Like we are on the same mindset. Like when I heard freaking Activision, for example, was being acquired, I'm mostly a Call of Duty player, so that's what I focus on when it comes to Activision. But you know, all these like allegations and things that were coming out, I'm like, you know, I hope that with this acquisition things sort of change a bit for the better. And on top of that, like I feel like this Call of Duty being out for 2 years rather than it being yearly was a change also thanks to this acquisition. I could be wrong. I'm just speculating on that because we've never seen that until now, right? And also the like Raven Studios, which is the developers for Warzone or the ones who maintain it, they could probably get more people in now or have a different studio also helping. So it's like the developers aren't 24/7, you know, trying to work on the game. So there's more budget, so there's more that they can do so that everybody gets their time to chill and also to work better and be more comfortable in their workspace. And also again for the games, dude, like I'm just I had a game in my mind and I kind of forgot. Shit, never mind. Right. That's it.
Okay. Project.
Yeah, I mean, look, I really think there's no question about this. Insomniac is the go-to company that Sony acquired, and this is what you want to do as a developer. I mean, they are the king of the world right now, as far as I'm concerned, in the PlayStation community. You know, they gave us, you know, Spider-Man Miles Morales at the launch of the PlayStation 5, and they were coming off of the absolutely massive success from Spider-Man in 2018. Gave us Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. They updated the original Spider-Man with Spider-Man Remastered. Announced Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. Like, this developer is just killing it. So that's what you want to look for in an acquisition. So I would say the best way to try to cultivate something like that is to have some type of relationship with the developer before you actually acquire them. In other words, I'm basically saying, like, don't necessarily take the Microsoft route of let's buy Bethesda, let's buy Activision. Rather, you do like a Haven Studios thing where, they already were partnering on an exclusive game for PlayStation 5, and it was just going very well. And considering the competitive landscape that we're now in, it's like, okay, well, let's also acquire you too. You doing something impressive for us. Let's get you in, and we're gonna, fully develop you into, greatness, basically. I think Deviation Games would be probably the next great go-to developer. Kojima Productions from the established ones, but you know what I mean? Something that's already in the works is going to be exclusive for PlayStation 5. Deviation will be a great talent to add. So I'd say those are the most exciting for a gamer, really, is those publisher-developer relationships where they've had something significant prior to acquisition, whether it's a game that's already released, some type of partnership that's already been announced. You know what I mean? Something that would kind of signal to us that, hey, Sony and this developer are tight, as opposed to, hey, we're just going to acquire Ubisoft. Well, yeah, that's going to take some change. You know what I mean? That's not going to be able to get all those developers, firing on the Sony cylinders anytime soon. That's going to take a lot of time. So, yeah, the best route to great games, exclusive and first-party wise, is if you have, a pre-announced relationship with the developer. So if you can give us more of that stuff, that'd be great.
Okay.
Something else I wanted to add, I just remembered, is another reason why I like some of these acquisitions is because Bethesda and Activision are known for have made great games in the past that are no longer being touched because they're more focused on what's making them money, since these companies were running solo basically. So they had to make what made them money basically. So for Activision it was Call of Duty. And so there's a lot of great games that they would do in the past on the 360 era that they're no longer doing, and being a part of Xbox or being a part of Sony can give them not only the budget but the freedom and the approval to sort of experiment and try new things with those IPs and bring them back.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Cole.
Yeah, Andy would do some new IPs.
No joke.
Oh yeah. Listen, man, I want Guitar Hero.
He trying, he begging, man. Oh shit, we talking about Guitar Hero. Shout out to Maxi Entertainment. He says Sony out here snitching, begging in the open for the world to see. I never thought this day would come. Finally, Xbox put Sony on the hot seat for once. Mac, you know damn well somebody trying to take money out of your pocket. You calling the police. All right, stop lying. All right, you'll be a Tekashi 6ix9ine on the streets. And yeah, yo, officer. Shout out to Mac. Havoc.
Yeah, they speak. I was not kidding. Call Me Jay got my answer, man. That was the. Now it was just mostly just more expansion, bigger games, or more even better quality games, basically.
Okay.
Just increasing from, previous, just getting acquired. They, a combination of everybody's answers, basically building a relationship and keeping them above water, and then having them get a nice, decent budget so they can be able to create the games they want to make, and something that's actually worth, actually very good, and actually, how do I say this? Without sounding like a fanboy.
Give it that PlayStation quality metric.
Yeah, it's like when like Ubisoft or Activision or EA, when they're on their own, developers pitch ideas and they're like, but is it gonna make money? Are we making this, right? Like a lot of money? And they're like, no, okay, it gets shelved, right? But someone like Sony or Xbox that are sustainable, aside from the games that they make, well, Xbox not really, but they can take more risks. They're like, okay, so what do you need to make this project? We can try it out, right? Because they're not really going to lose a lot of money if a game flops, because they're making money elsewhere, right? On top of the games that they already make. So that's adding to what you were saying, Havoc. This is why I like that, because they can experiment more and not feel like the company is going to go under because a certain game flopped.
Exactly.
That's a good point. Like Housemark with Returnal, I don't think they would have been able to pull that off if they like worked for EA. I don't think
like,
EA
hell no.
or Ubisoft would have greenlight that project. They would have been like, "What, man? If you don't get your ass out of here."
They were like,
I feel like Anthem as well. Anthem wouldn't have gone if it wasn't another studio, but because it's BioWare, they're like, "Yeah, we can do it," and they're like, "All right, I trust you." But trust misplaced.
Now I will say this. So for me, but I do like all your comments with improving the studios, how the studio get better. So I would say that would be like number 2 reason for me. But my number 1 reason for me, like if I see a studio acquisition, it ultimately comes down to, for me, how does this result in me getting more games? You know what I mean? Like Square Enix. I have no issues if Sony does buy Square Enix, but at the same time, I'm not jumping for joy either because I don't see it getting me more games. Like, we're already getting the Final Fantasy 16. Pretty much, Square Enix been supporting the stuff PlayStation for such a long time. For me, I would be more excited over a Konami acquisition because they have IPs that we most likely won't ever see this gen. Like, for example, this might be the first console gen where we don't get a new Metal Gear Solid game. Like, PlayStation 1 had Metal Gear Solid 1, PlayStation 2 had Metal Gear Solid 2 and Snake Eater, PlayStation 3 had Guns of the Patriots, and then PlayStation 4 had, even though it was multi-plat, but that's fine, I don't care, Metal Gear Solid 5. Will PlayStation 5
Metal Gear Rising.
And Metal Gear Rising. Will PlayStation 5 get a Metal Gear game? Probably not.
I mean,
it's probably not going to happen, Now, if Sony owned Konami and took over, you best believe Sony would be like, "Hey, Kojima, Konami, the publishers or those guys that you hate, they're not there no more. We work well. Would you mind making a new Metal Gear?" He will probably be up for that.
Not even that, because Sony's also known.
I gotta go.
Sony's
all right, brother. Thank you for stopping by.
Sony's known for going to develop.
Catch you later.
Yeah,
later, BG.
They're known for going to developers and being like, "Hey, I'll pay you to make this game for us." Like the Modern Warfare remasters. That was Sony that went to them. "Hey, make this for us." I think the Resident Evil VR for Resident Evil 7, they were like, "Hey, I'll give you the budget, make a VR version of this game for our PSVR." So I can see them, I guess, going to Konami and be like, "I'll pay you."
Yes, that's what I like. Ultimately, I honestly don't care about the whole acquisition, and all it does is it results in removing games from another platform. Like, I don't really care about that. That doesn't get me more games. I want more games. How does this acquisition ultimately result? So, like, supporting Haven Studios and supporting new studios trying to build themselves from the ground up and say, "Hey, you ain't got to do it on your own. If you join us, you got all the support you need. I'm cool with that." You go after a studio that's really struggling or they're just not really focused on doing anything big. Hey, Konami, come on. We're going to bring back Castlevania. We're going to bring back Contra. We're going to bring back Silent Hill. We're going to bring back Metal Gear. We're going to make this happen. That's what I want to see. I want to see more games created, not just simply say, "Oh, this is guaranteed to be a PlayStation exclusive." That doesn't really do nothing. The only legit concern I saw with the whole Square Enix things was just fans were just nervous that Xbox or Microsoft might buy Square Enix and then pull those games away from PlayStation. I'm like, okay, that I understand. You want to make sure that game doesn't, those games don't leave the PlayStation ecosystem, and you're concerned of Microsoft taking it over. So better to buy Square Enix first and be on the safe side. So I kind of get that.
See, that's all the bots care about.
Yeah, but other than that, that's what they care about. They don't care about the game because some, like I said, with the whole Bethesda deal, a lot of them I talked to, and I said, "Let me see your gamer tag." One didn't even dare show, and the few that did, they barely played Bethesda games. So it's not even really about the Bethesda games. It's about not seeing the games on PlayStation so they could talk shit. I'm not that interested in console war. Like, I enjoy the console war. I love talking shit. But at the end of the day, when these moves in the industries happen, I really want to see, ultimately, how does this result in me playing new content or better content. That's what I care about. Because, it's not really about the console war or talking all this shit. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't really...
Yeah.
It doesn't really add to gaming. I want to see more games.
I personally get really happy when a game that I like gets to go on like consoles or it comes to PC or something because more people get to play it. Like Risk of Rain 2 is an amazing game. Insurgency Sandstorm is a really good realistic shooter. It was only on PC and it came to consoles. Arma as well. No. So when I saw that, I wasn't like, fuck, bro, PC, oh my god. I was like, hell yeah, bro. People, more money, more budget. Make the game better now because you got more people paying for that shit.
All right. So that's a good topic. I like the extra topic. So, hey, we're going to close the show up. We're going to wrap this show up now. Hey, Jay Bari, let them know where we can find you. Talk about the greatest definitive PlayStation podcast every Saturday.
Who do you call?
Yo, I'm here. Nah, man. Once again, man, great show. This was a very interesting topic. I mean, because this is pretty much what everybody's talking about, but it's good to get everybody different perspectives and all that stuff where it's not just, the fanboy stuff. It's just like, it's actually a good game and talk. You know what I mean?
Good game and talk.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, you can find me. What's Up PlayStation podcast every Saturday. 11 a.m. Eastern time. And this show is going to be fun because me and Persona we're very passionate about Call of Duty, so we're gonna be talking about it. I'm
gonna miss this show because I'm gonna be in Disneyland.
Oh, where? Which one?
Yeah, the one in California.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in fact Friday and Saturday because they have two parks. They slick. So one park has the Avengers and the other park has Star Wars. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Wait, so I want to ask you about that.
What's up?
I want to ask you about that. I went to the one in Florida. Is California just the same, or is it different?
So California, Florida has Disney World, Walt Disney World,
and Universal Studios.
Yeah, and Universal Studios. No, but California also has Universal Studios, so that's separate.
Okay.
But as far as Disney, Florida has with Disney World. California has Disneyland. But Disneyland split up into two parks, each with its own separate fee. And one park, I think, is called like Adventureland, like Disneyland Adventureland.
Yeah, that's on Florida too.
Yeah, so that has the Avengers and all the Marvel shit, and then whatever attractions on that side. And then I forgot what the other park is called. That has all the Star Wars Galaxy shit. And I'm like, I gotta do both.
Is like the Florida one or smaller?
I don't know. I haven't been there, so I haven't been to either other one. But listen, I grew up poor. I'm a poor Puerto Rican in New York. My family ain't got no time for Disneyland. They be like, you better watch this Disney VHS and shut the fuck up.
I never been to Disneyland. That's why I'm asking.
I never either. This is my first time.
Really?
Never.
Damn, all right.
Not even Disney World. Just me and my wife.
Listen, bro. Just make sure you eat before you go in because that shit is expensive as fuck, bro.
I don't give a shit. I'm gonna do it up. Bro. I mean, because I love attractions. I go to Great Adventures. I do all that. Like me and my wife, we love theme parks. We went to in Europe. We went to like the largest theme park in Europe. I think it was called Europa Park. I mean, we love that shit, right? But we never did Disney. Like, we don't have no kids. But me and my wife, we were both from Brooklyn, and we both grew up poor. And that's like, when you're a kid, you're like, that's one of the few things. That's like one of the check in the box. You know what I'm saying? You got see the Niagara Falls, see the Grand Canyon, visit Disneyland, Disney World. So we go to Las Vegas, some of those shits. And then I traveled all Europe, but like Disney is one of those things I never did. So I'm gonna be in Disneyland. I'm gonna see Mickey. I'm like, hey, yo, Mickey. He's like, what? Yeah, Donald fucked your bitch. What? You motherfucker! Now you know what I'm saying? So now I'm just playing. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that shit. But anyway, that's it, man. But hey, if you're a PlayStation fan and you're not watching What's Up PlayStation on Saturdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, your chances are you're an Xbox fanboy pretending to be one. Yes, I said it. Yo, Havoc, what's up, my brother?
Hey, man. Thank you for having me on again, man, brother. I'm here. True SSJ Havoc. I'm trying to put some videos or do something out here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make big projects coming through.
You got the new mic?
Yeah, I got this new mic. I'm trying to put it to use, man.
All right.
Yo, who's that? Jay Barry. Yo, shout out to Jay Barry. What's that him that said his birthday was last week?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yo, this is
belated birthday, man.
Happy belated birthday to you, man. To my fellow late July baby. Man.
Yes,
the best month of the year, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
July baby's the best.
Absolutely. This is SSJ Havoc?
Yep.
Okay, cool, man. I think it's like my first time speaking with you, man. Or
he got a new mic. He's dropping that new mic. He ready.
I got the new mic ready.
Oh, I'm with it. I'm with it.
That's what's up, man. And then call me Jay.
Yep, same as everybody, bro. Thank you for having me. It's fun as usual. Great show. And a reminder to everybody in the chat, not only to drop a like, we got 230 people watching right now.
I know, man.
And second, feel free to hop in if you want to talk ever on this channel, because Hard Rock lets anybody in except for Weirdos, of course.
I've been said that, you know what I'm saying?
Just a reminder.
Be like, yo,
don't be scared.
Yeah, P-Rock, yo, let me in. Let me. What was it, Jay Barry? Let me speak.
Oh, let me speak.
Let me speak.
Yo, P-Rock, let me speak.
It's my turn. Speak. Listen, if you have an opinion, bro, and you're level-headed, then you.
Listen, you know, yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I let everybody on. You know, if you have an opinion, you can articulate. You know what I'm saying? You got a decent mic. You ain't gotta have the best mic, right? And I let you guys on. Like, it's really not an issue. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, just come through, be part of the family, and then you be surprised. And like, you guys hop on anytime you want. Like, it's not, I have to let them know. You guys don't have to like you guys don't DM me saying, "Can I hop on?" Yeah, just do
go live, and I just hop in.
I'm be honest.
I see it when you're on.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Y'all see me on, and you already, you know, once I give you podcast gas, y'all good. You know what I'm saying? I always enjoy more opinions. Are always great, just as long as you're serious, you know. But if you're one of them Xbox dudes, you will get the ejecto, cause like this is some crazy shit,
the best thing I like about doing these podcasts is the perspective of other people, because obviously we all think differently, but you know, there's certain topics that we speak on, and then someone comes in and says something different that sort of changes our mind. We're like, oh, I see how you know, I see that point of view, makes you think differently,
you know.
So.
You know what I'm saying? We got to diversify our portfolio here in 60 Frames.
Exactly, bro.
Anyway, to my friends, my family, my fellow gamers, this is your only friend in these YouTube streets, Puerto77. Thank you for rocking out. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'll probably see you again. Maybe do a hot take, talk something else. No, I won't, actually, because I'll be in Disneyland. So, sorry. You're going to have to wait till maybe next Tuesday. But until then, hey, thanks for rocking out. Check out Jay Bar's podcast. And just check out for everybody up in here. Good looking out. You guys take care. Peace.
PlayStation will be just fine.
We gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right.
What a way to end, bro. That's a soundbite, bro.
He said, hey guys, PlayStation's gonna be all right.
Yo, that's facts, bro. That's facts.
That's facts, bro. That's facts, bro.
Yo, guys, I'm gonna holler